I really have to get contacts. I'm not gonna get contacts. Look at me without glasses on. But I hate how the computer screen glares on my glasses. It's not a good look. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Insane Asylum. I almost forgot my name on my YouTube channel. That is disappointing. Welcome back to the Insane Asylum, my dear patients. We are back at another unit, Unit 3, finally a new unit, God. Unit 1, it was full of boredom because it was so long. Unit 2 was more of the same, finally excited that we're moving on to a new unit and talking about something different. First, I want to talk about the difference between Looksmaxing and self-improvement. But actually, before I get into that, we should do a little intro of what Unit 3 is going to be about. Self-improvement and the confusion of routines. So finally now you got your goals, your room is clean, and your mind is pure of complete chaos. Now it's time to translate what you feel on the inside, on the outside. That's what she said. We all seen those videos on morning routines or night routines or even evening routines, right? But the problem is we never know where to start. One video says use a toner. One video says use this type of SPF. You need SPF 20. Then another video says you need SPF 20 and above. And then some videos say you only need SPF 20 and below, or you need SPF 69. And then another one says use a toner, don't use a toner, exfoliate every day, exfoliate once a week. You should actually exfoliate only once a week, but. And then another says you should wash your face with only soap, and then another says you shouldn't wash your face with soap because it dries out the skin, but another one says you should because it gets rid of the bacteria. So, what do you do? What is the right answer? What is the right aesthetic morning routine? So you start watching these little short, 5-minute YouTube videos of where someone shows their morning routine, and suddenly you're entranced in this morning routine because it's so aesthetic, it's oh my god, it's a vibe, and you copy what they do. And then you go on your YouTube homepage the next day, and then there's another morning routine, so you clicked on it because you said to yourself, well, yesterday I watched the morning routine of this celebrity and I liked it, so I may like this morning routine of this other celebrity. So you click on this video, and then this celebrity says something different that contradicts what the other celebrity said. And then so you watch these other morning routines and night routines of other people, of other influencers, that contradicts what everyone else says. So what do you believe? Who do you believe? And you're left wondering, at the end of the day, who should you actually listen to? Many self-improvement and self-care YouTubers, self-improvement YouTubers, either they advertise their own products and they actually don't give out good advice. They only give advice that benefits them for their product, or they give advice that isn't helpful because they use ChatGPT, or they make so many videos a week that they just want to pop out videos and they just give any advice that they see on the internet, and they don't even try it themselves. But then also sometimes these videos offer good tips, but they don't really explain it that thoroughly, because how can you explain a self-improvement concept when a video is 5 minutes long? That's also why a lot of my videos are long, because I like to explain very thoroughly. So if you guys have any questions or not, you're left with answers. And then on top of that, some routines are targeted specifically toward women, or targeted towards men, or targeted towards a specific race, because only certain types of skincare products work with a different type of skin color or skin type. And then what about all the people in between? Because you really like a certain celebrity, but they only talk about this type of audience. So who do you follow? Because the majority of self-improvement content, more specifically the Looksmaxing community, is targeted towards men. There's not a lot of Looksmaxing women content. It's more targeted towards men. So as a woman, as myself, and then as other women who watch these self-improvement videos, how and what information do you take away? Because some of these maxing tips are very good if you're a man, but they're not so good if you're a woman. You know what I mean? When they talk about shaving your beard or what type of beard you have, as a woman watching that, you go, well, I don't have a beard, so what do I do, right? And these people who watch these self-improvement videos, especially in Unit 3, we're most specifically talking about these self-care videos of Looksmaxing. These people that don't really meet the criteria, I mean everyone who doesn't meet the criteria, because no specific video is targeted towards them, no matter what race, sexuality, no matter who you are, no one video is targeted towards you. And so at the end of the day, you're left with, who do I listen to? Because for example, maybe you want a self-improvement video that helps you, but you don't want a self-improvement video that doesn't make you look too feminine or too masculine. This person says, use this product, but then you don't want to use that product because it's too masculine for you. You want something in between, right? And so the thing with Unit 3 is that I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to tell you, what every single skincare product you need, no matter what gender you are, no matter what color you are. Because self-improvement is not about gender. Most of these self-improvement videos are centered around masculinity, femininity. This guide is specifically a little mix of between a little feminine, a little masculine, and a little of what's the word of non-conforming gender, like whatever. Because skincare, skincare doesn't always have to be about looking masculine or looking feminine. It's about looking healthy. And so this is what Unit 3 is going to be about. If you're looking for a masculine guy, because if you're a guy and you want to look as masculine as possible, this is not the unit for you. Come back next week or go watch my other videos. And then too, if you're a girl who wants a more feminine look, this isn't the video for you. And even if you're a guy who wants more feminine look or a boy, or a girl who wants more masculine look, it doesn't matter. If you're a boy or girl, you want more masculine, more feminine, it doesn't matter. But I just want to say that this unit specifically is how to make the most optimal skincare routine without all of these gender and stereotypical notions attached to it. The truth is, you cannot truly self-improve without self-care. Getting the basic right. I'm stuttering so hard. Getting the basics right is the foundation of improving your life in every single area of your life. Alright, so what is actually Looksmaxing? Because we all heard it in the self-improvement community. Is it the same? Is it different? What is Looksmaxing? Looksmaxing is all about optimizing your appearance based on your genetics. It's about making intentional choices about your haircut, your clothing, and grooming routine. Anything that involves anything physical, anything about your physical look, that is what Looksmaxing is. I don't have the girls, and I certainly don't have the looks. So why should you take advice from me? Because I have spent hours upon weeks, upon months, watching every single Looksmaxing video that you can. The morning routines, the night routines, what shampoos that you should use. Should you do mewing? Should you not do mewing? Thumb pulling. I have read about it. I have watched every single video. And I have compiled my experience and on my opinions into this one video. Take advice from me because I am you. I'm doing this with you. I don't have the looks. I don't have the money. I don't have the girls. We are in this together. The first step is to know what face shape you have. Is it a square, a heart, an oblong, is it a circle, etc.? There are a few ways to dictate your face shape. First, make sure your hair is pulled back if you have long hair. You want to look in the mirror and with your fingers just simply outline your face. and then draw that shape on a piece of paper with a pen. If you can, that's optional. But look in the mirror and outline with your finger what shape your face draws. A second way to determine your face shape is to take a front-facing selfie and do not smile, because smiling and any other facial altercations, is that the right word? any difference in altering your facial expressions, that's actually a good word for it, it will affect your face shape. So you want to make sure your face is completely neutral, relax all the muscles in your face, take that selfie, and then you want to edit the picture and then use a pencil or a marker to outline the shape of your face. And then the third way to find your face shape is if you are comfortable enough, go to one of these AI face analyzer websites, insert your image there, and it'll analyze your face shape for you. For example, based on all of these assessments that I have done, I have a mix between a square and a circle face. I want to explain that face fat does matter. If you are on the little heavier side, your face shape will differ with weight. So if your face is fatter than usual, skinnier than usual, it will or can alter the effects of your face. It depends on the person, because some people, when they gain weight, they collect more fat in their face or etc. And for like me, I am a bit on the heavier side. If this was about 10 years ago, when I was in high school, oh my god, high school for me was, I think, 7 years ago. Man, I graduated in 2019. It was so long ago. I'll even insert a picture of me when I was in high school. My face was a lot slimmer, and you could see that my jawline was a lot more defined. And in my older pictures too, you could kind of tell that my face was oddly longer. It could probably be because the illusion that I had longer hair. But back then, my face was a little bit more square, and then a bit of a circle now. And then right now, I'm about 10, 15 pounds more heavier than I was before. My face is definitely still a square at the bottom, because at the tip of my forehead, it's a bit of a circle. And as you keep going down and down, then like around my cheek to jaw area, it tends to curve. It does a little bit of a curve. And then I do have really high cheekbones. So my face is almost a difference between like a square and oblong towards the bottom, not the top, but towards the bottom, and a bit of a circle. As you gain weight and age, your face shape will probably change, but overall, your face shape is determined on your genetics. Its face shape is determined by your genetics. And we'll talk about more on how can you change your face shape and all that later on later on in this unit. But 90% of what your natural face shape is, you cannot change. The other 10% is maybe lose fat or gain weight, whatever you need to do, you can alter your face. And obviously you can think of medical procedures like Botox, but even that is dangerous. I mean, don't listen to what the looks smacking people are talking about. Thumb pulling. That stuff is dangerous. Or you can even do the technique where they literally get a hammer and they hit themselves in the eyeballs and the jawline as if it'll make a more defined face. That's a bit stupid in my opinion. And then also, gender will play a matter in this scenario because if you have a circle face, it'll look different if you're a male or a woman. If you're a male with a circle face, it'll look different if you're a woman with a circle face. So gender does matter in this situation. Knowing your face shape is really important because it'll dictate what hairstyles will suit best for you. Another thing to keep in mind that yeah, face shape is just one of the effects on what type of hairstyle you should get, such as the facial features of how far apart your eyes are, or how long your forehead is, or how big, or what's the shape of your nose and then your ears. It's easy to nitpick these little things, but generally speaking, the majority of the time when it comes to picking a hairstyle, pick a hairstyle towards your face shape. And then if you're like, I would say the little parts of the eyes and then the nose matter. Maybe if you're a model or you're an actor, right? Because all those little things matter. But if you're an average person who just wants to genuinely look better than what you do now, choose a haircut based on your face shape. And then maybe later down the line you can nitpick these little things that, oh, people with blue eyes look different with blonde hair, and then, oh, they look better with blonde hair. The people with blue eyes look horrible in this type of color of hair, or this type of hair. And then my nose is shaped this way. That means I can't have this type of hair or this type of color. Later you can determine all those other factors, but for now just focus on the face shape. Looksmaxing can draw you into this rabbit hole because it'll suck you in and it'll manipulate you because they all say the same things of, get this haircut, it'll change your life, do this, it'll make you look 10 times, 20 times, 69 times more sexier. When the person making the video looks like Clark Kent themselves. Literally. Take advice from someone who is literally ugly because they have lived it. And these before and after pictures and videos of, this is my before then after Looksmaxing, most of the time, they don't even take the same picture in the same place. It's either they use a different light or they use filters and etc. etc. Looksmaxing does help. It really does help. But it doesn't change your life in a dramatic way like these videos speak about. Yeah, it'll probably make you 5% more sexier, but that's it. It's all about genetics. But it's also about making the best of your genetics. We can really be as nitpicky as you want about it. But face shape is the most important. Face shape is about 80% of the work. You ever wonder why when you get the same haircut as your favorite celebrity or as your friend, or you just want to get this particular haircut because you think it's cool, so you take a picture of it online, you go to the hair salon, and then you say, hey, I want this haircut, and then you get the haircut, you come home, you shower, you take your selfie, and you look like shit. Most likely it's because you don't have the same face shape as that person with that same haircut. I have included videos in this class playlist. There will be videos to help you find your face shape if you need more information. If you want, just optional. And as for all these videos, I've always included a class playlist. These are all the YouTube videos that I have watched and that I have compiled to as well. Link is in the description and also in the comment section as well. I'm not going to list every single face shape and every single particular hairstyle because this video will be literally 24 hours long. But I have and will insert pictures and videos here to guide you. You can pause this video if you want and you can watch the videos in the playlist or look at the pictures that I have included in this video. Just as an example to wrap up this first step of finding your face shape, the simplest haircut a person can get is a buzz cut. It really is. When I got my buzz cut, I only got it so that I could start fresh. I didn't get it to look sexy or anything. I literally did it because I wanted to start fresh. I got a buzz cut just to do it because I watched Fight Club for the very first time. So I got my buzz cut. Also, too, while I was doing the buzz cut, because I cut my own hair doing it. In my mind, I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna look like Brad Pitt. I'm gonna look like Channing Tatum. But instead, I ended up looking like a boiled fucking egg. Why? Because I don't have the face shape. You can't change your face shape. And I wish you could, but you just can't. Getting a buzz cut is one of those haircuts. It works best if you have an oval or a square or a diamond face, or a little mix of both, due to their balanced and angular and proportionate features. And also, if you have like hollow cheekbones and a real defined jawline, and you have a really small forehead or a medium sized forehead, buzz cuts are always going to be a good fit. But if you're like me, especially women, if your face is of a circle, even though I do have a bit of a defined jawline, my face is still very feminine like. That's why a lot of women who get buzz cuts don't necessarily look good. No, they look bad in them because of the shape. Because if your face is already of a circle, getting a buzz cut is literally a circle. You're just adding circles upon circles upon circles. It's simple geometry. Whereas if you have, or if you do get a buzz cut and you have a weak jawline, your forehead is super long, you have a really long face, got big fucking ears, your face is round or it's very super long, like an oblong face. Buzz cuts will look absolutely terrifying on you. I mean, absolutely terrifying. I mean, the list can go on what face shapes are good with perfect haircuts, but just as one example, just as getting the simple buzz cut, because I got my buzz cut, I looked, in my opinion, I didn't look super hot, but I didn't look super ugly as well. I looked more ugly than I did hot. I look better with the hair that I have now because having hair on top of my head and a little bit on the side, it accentuates my circular face and a bit of my square jaw at the bottom. Step 2 is to dictate your hair type. First, what is your natural hair color? Mine is black. That is my natural hair color. I am black. Okay, cancel. I'm fucking canceled. Cancel me. Alright. And two, actually, I look pretty good blonde. I did blonde a couple years ago in college. I look pretty good blonde. I don't know if I'll ever go back to blonde, only because it fucking burned my skin. It burned my scalp. About 2 weeks after I got my blonde hair, I had flakes. Literally. I had flakes falling out of my scalp. My scalp was burning for about 2 weeks, and then it just went away. It's just too much maintenance, and I have to wash my hair every day because I have really oily hair. And so after a while, the hair just died away, and it's just so expensive. But I do look good as a blonde. I really do. Yellow and gold look real good on me. But my natural hair color is black. Now the next step is finding your hair type. This is a bit tricky, but we are going to take this slow. That's what she said. We're going to take this slow with this. This is basically of what material is your hair. This will be different for other people. For instance, when your hair is dry, is it straight? Is it curly? I mean, what is it like? The first plan is to say, okay, what style is my hair in right now? I mean, what state is your hair in when it's dry? When you wake out of bed, when you're literally watching this video, what state is your hair in when it's natural? Is it straight, wavy, curly, kinky, a mix of both? Kinky, yep, that's a hair type. I don't make the fucking rules here. For example, my hair is straight. I mean, I'm not straight. Let me tell you that. But my hair is straight when it's dry. Now, do the same thing for the opposite. Do the same thing for when it's wet. That's what she's... Sexy said. So when my hair is wet, it's still straight. I kind of lucked out in the hair department because my hair is straight when it's both wet and dry. That's what she said. And that just means that I can use any shampoo that I want. I can basically use as an average department store shampoo and I'll be fine. The more diverse your hair is, so does the material that you use on your hair will be. You need to cater your body needs to the material you use on yourself. Now it's time to determine the duality, the strength of your hair. So what I mean by this is, so going back to these questions of, what state is my hair in now when it's dry, what state is my hair in when it's wet, go back and say, okay, what state or what duality is my hair in now? So for example, I would say I have medium hair. I mean, it's not thin, it's not thick. What strength is your hair in now? So when my hair is dry, it's like medium. It's not thin and it's not thick. It's sort of just medium. If I pull on my hair, will my hair fall out? Probably not. Then ask yourself the same thing when it's wet. Does my hair get thicker? Does it get thinner? When my hair gets wet, it literally looks the same. Now, after all of that, the last step is for you to find what type of hair that you have in terms of cleanliness. Is your hair oily? Is it super dry? Do you have dandruff? Is it average? A good rule of thumb is to ask yourself, if you don't wash your hair in a couple days, what would happen? If you don't wash your hair in one day, is it oily? Is it dry? How is your hair if you haven't washed it in 24 hours? And for me, I have to wash my hair every day. To be honest with you, ideally, I actually have to wash my hair 2 times a day, but I never do. I only wash it once. I take a shower once a day, and that's it. Because when I wake up, my hair is fine. And then at around noon, at around like 1 p.m., it starts to get itchy. It starts to get flaky. I have dandruff, and it starts to look very shiny. I shower at around 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock at night, and I sweat when I sleep, just as who I am. Even though I'm a woman, I don't even care if the internet knows this information. Even though I'm a woman, I produce a lot of oil in my body. I have to shower once a day. I have very oily hair. And when I do wash my hair, and my hair dries out and everything, hypothetically, I could probably wash my hair 6 times a day and get away with it. But I don't wash my hair 6 times a day because why? That's just a waste of time. But hypothetically, I could probably wash my hair every hour on the hour of the day, and my hair will still be oily. It will never dry out. Now, for some people, you can go 5 days or 6 days without washing hair. Like, for example, my mother, she has very thin hair, but her hair is a bit, it's not completely straight. It's like a mix between straight and curly. I don't know how she has curly hair because she's Asian, but anyway, my mom could go 5 days without washing her hair. She'll take a shower every day, but she won't wash her hair. Whereas me, I have to wash my hair every single day. Because if I don't, my hair starts to get dandruff and it starts getting flakes and it gets real freaking itchy. Like, insanely itchy. As if I have never washed my hair. And then it starts to smell. I'm not even kidding you. I have to wash my hair like every 12 hours, literally. I take a shower, I wash my hair and everything at around 5 o'clock at night. And then I go to bed, I wake up the next day, then at around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when, things get messy. And then also too, I forgot to mention this, is that in your in your natural state, does your hair naturally sit straight or does it fall down? Sometimes with hair, what is its natural state when it's nothing? Does it fall in your face? Does it stand up or what? Like for me, in my natural state without no gel, I don't ever use gel, but when there's no product in my hair just kind of just falls. It just sits there. I'm kind of lucked out in the hair department. Sorry, not sorry, guys. Hair type will also determine your race. Certain races will have a specific type of hair. Like, for example, African hair, they could go a week without taking a shower because their hair is so dry and coarse that it doesn't produce oil. And then if you do shower, if you do get your hair wet, when you do have that type of hair, it ruins your scalp. Your scalp gets super flaky and dry. Step three Step three is the easiest in my opinion. It's freaking easy. Step three is to literally determine your skin color and skin type. So ask yourself, are you blue, good, green, orange, red? What color are you? Skin color can be confusing if you really nitpick it. For example, like with this chart that I've inserted here. But if you don't wear makeup, you don't have to worry about all the other pigmentations of your skin. Me, I'm Asian and I'm half white, half Asian. My skin isn't necessarily Edward Cullen pale skin, but I'm also not like a Channing Tatum white people type of skin. I'm sort of in the middle. I have a white warm color. There's hints of tan in my skin. I'm like a light East Asian color. Don't know how to explain it. I have white skin, but it's a bit darker than the typical white person. There's a little bit of tan in it. It has a little bit of gold in my skin. I'm not really white, but I'm not really like yellow like Asian people are. I'm sort of somewhere in the middle. Next is to determine your skin type. So going back to the hair, just ask yourself, when my skin is wet, what is my skin like? Or when my skin is dry, what does it look like? Is it rough? Is it oily? Is it a mix of both? Me, I have medium skin. So how you determine this is, the best way to determine this is, first thing when you wake up in the morning, what is your skin like? Is it dry? For me, when I wake up in the morning, sometimes on occasion, my mouth area will get dry. I think it's only because when I brush my teeth, I get toothpaste all over my mouth, and I think that's why sometimes I have flakes around my mouth area. And then my dogs, they lick my face. So that's probably why I have dry skin around my mouth. But besides that, my cheeks and my nose and my forehead are pretty much in neutral when I wake up in the morning. And then when I go on with my day at around the afternoon, that's when things get messy all over my body. That's when my face starts to get oily. Just get your fingers and literally just touch your face. Just something come off of it. If I go one day without taking a shower, my face will be oily. It will be itchy. It'll just bother me. My eyes will burn because sometimes the flakes from my hair or the flakes I don't even know where they come from, will fall into my eyes. My eyes will burn. I'm not even kidding with you. I have to shower once a day, every day. Same thing with your hair. You need to see what type of different states your skin is when it's wet and dry so that you know what products to use. Because if you use the wrong products, it could ruin your skin. If you use products designed for dry skin when you have oily skin, it won't even work. It'll just make your skin even more oily because it's aiding to that oiliness. Because dry skin products have oil-based concepts in it. And then if you have already oily skin, it's just making your skin even more watery, even more shiny, even more dirty. So, first thing in the morning, what does your skin look like? Is it neutral? Do you have certain areas of your face that are more dry than others? Or during the day, does your face get drier in certain areas, or what? And then two, after you wash your face, when you wash your face with soap and water, does your face get extremely dry after you wash it? Like, does it feel stiff, or does it feel neutral? Because if your skin feels super dry after you just washed your face, most likely you should use a different type of face product. Because your face should never feel super stiff after you wash your face. And then after that, next is to find your imperfections. So this section is going to suck balls because you're literally going to look at yourself and you're going to nitpick everything, You're going to look at your weaknesses. This is knowing your imperfections. Do you have acne? Do you have scars? Do you have color pigmentation? Do you have dark circles underneath your eyes? For example, I have dark spots on my skin because when I was a child, I never wore sunscreen. Now I do, I know. And I have color pigmentation around the mouth area. It's a bit of a yellow outline around my mouth. I think this could be eczema because I don't know why it's that color. Sometimes it's red too, but I think that's from brushing my teeth and my dog's licking my face. Because sometimes when I wake up in the morning, my mouth area will be literally flaky. Because I don't have color pigmentation anywhere on my face, but just the mouth area. And then too, another imperfection of mine is that I have dark circles underneath my eyes. And then sometimes on occasion I'll have chapped lips on occasion. I ain't embarrassed about this. I ain't embarrassed about showing my face. I'm not. This is my skin. Literally. I'm not scared. And the thing about me is that when I wake up in the morning, I'm fucking ugly. I don't know what it is, but in the morning I look ugly. Ugly. And then after when I take my shower in the evenings, I look hot. Well, I look hotter. I don't ever think I'm hot, but just comparing my before when I wake up and then after I shower and comb my hair and do everything, it makes the world of a difference. This is my skin, I have medium skin, medium to oily skin. My weaknesses slash imperfections of my skin include my mouth area because I'm dealing with dryness, flaky color pigmentation. This could also be a form of eczema, but I'm not really sure. And then I also have dark circles underneath my eyes and dark spots all around my face. When I was younger, I used to have acne everywhere across my forehead. Now I don't. And then too, when I was younger, I used to have blackheads all around my nose, but now I don't have them as much anymore. And then my goal on my skin is to also have bright, glowing skin because I feel as if my skin is bland. It's not glowing. I want glowing skin. Make a list of all your problems. This will come in handy later when we talk about what products to use. Step 4 is to find your body type and shape. This is a horrible one because it's going to be a very insecure topic that people don't like talking about, and but finding your body shape is very hard actually. The first step is to determine your body type. So body type is basically just plain and simple. Are you skinny? Are you fat? Or are you overweight? Or are you somewhere in between? Right now, I am overweight, but I would not call myself I'm obese, but I am not skinny or at an ideal weight. I am definitely overweight. And then next comes the body shape. You need to know, this is important to know your body type and body shape because when it comes to looksmaxing and self-care, in order to look your best, you need to wear clothes that fits your body shape. Same thing with your hair. If you wear hairstyles that don't suit your face shape, you will look uglier as compared to choosing a haircut that complements your face. And then also complements the color of your skin because certain hair types and certain hair colors, certain hair dyes will look better on certain skin. So determining your body shape is an essential when choosing what clothes is right for you. For example, I'm 136. I'm not proud of it. I used to be about 128, 129. I know. I'm 5 foot 1 inches. I'm a mix between overweight. It won't hurt me to lose about 20 pounds. It wouldn't hurt me. It wouldn't hurt me to lose 10 pounds. It really wouldn't. And then also, you want to assess what parts of your body gain the most muscle and fats. Like for me, as an example, I collect most of my fat in the lower part of my body. Yeah, my face, I do collect fat in my face, but not as significant as the rest of my body. Comparing my fat ratio all across my body, my arms and chest and my back tend to be fairly decent, but compared to the lower part of my body, the lower part of my stomach, hips, and especially upper thighs are a bit of a problem of mine. I collect most of my fat in the lower part of my body, hips and below. Alright, this step is going to be a quick one. We could talk about hours and hours about how to find a particular body type and body shape. Finding body shape and body type is important so that you know what to address for. People who don't dress their body type don't particularly look as good as if they would dress for their body type. But sometimes too, the thing with looks maxing is that it has its pros and cons. Just because you have a particular body type doesn't mean you shouldn't wear a particular color because you like it. Looksmaxing is about making the best of your genetics. It's about being better than everyone else. It's about being the most handsomest, most sexiest person in the room. And that is not what life is about. It's about being happy with what you wear. Like for example, with me, I'm a woman, and when it comes to looksmaxing, the ideal woman's supposed to put on makeup. I'm supposed to accentuate my curves because I have big hips, but I don't like to accentuate my curves because I like that masculine look. I want to hide my curves. Just because a particular YouTuber or a particular handbook tells you that you need to accentuate this body part because you're a pear shape, you're strawberry shape, you're an O shape, you're a V taper. If you like to wear the clothes that you currently have now, and then go with that. But if you're looking to, to upgrade your style to look just 1% more better, and you're willing to sacrifice your happiness for it, or if you don't really care about what shirt you wear because clothes are clothes, and then finding your body type and body shape is right for you. And I'm going to insert videos here on what videos that you should watch. I'm not going to really talk about body type here in this video just because this video can be hours upon hours upon hours fucking long. Finally, the last step is step 5 is to know your weaknesses when it comes to looks maxing. And to step 5 is all about knowing what are your goals because sometimes your weaknesses and your goals will not align with one another. This goes back to all the other steps that we talked about fixing your weaknesses. How can you optimize your genetics when it comes to looks maxing? Like, for example, step 5 is all about what imperfections do you have? Going back to step 3 when we talked about skin type and skin color. My weaknesses are to fix the bags underneath my eyes, eliminate the dark spots on my face, and to fix up whatever is happening around the area around my chin and my mouth. Then another area would probably be to accentuate more of my body, which basically just means just lose weight. I don't have any plans on accentuating my hips or my breast because I like a more masculine look, but there are ways that I could accentuate my body and make it look better. Step 5 is all about writing down your weaknesses that you need to improve on and then writing down your goals. For example, these are my weaknesses that I have as of now. So it's going from top to bottom, like really assess yourself. Go from top to bottom, start with the hair. Now, for me as an example, I believe my hair is normal. I don't have any weaknesses on my hair. I'm not balding. Nor too if you are balding and who cares? Some people that have hair loss, they feel really insecure about it, which is okay. And then there's some people who loses hair and then they're completely okay with it. I mean, who cares? It's all about what you want at the end of the day. And for me with my hair, I guess the only negative thing that I can think about of my hair is that it is very oily, but it's not something that negatively impacts my life. But it wouldn't hurt for me to invest in some kind of dandruff shampoo. So I guess my one weakness of my hair would be I have dandruff and my hair is oily. And then going down to my face area, I have no acne, which is a plus, but then as you go down as my forehead, I got some dark circles underneath my eyes. I get 9 hours of sleep, but I somehow have dark circles. These dark circles appeared a couple of years ago, actually. It actually started when I got diagnosed with my reactive hypoglycemia and empty cell syndrome, and I think that they're connected. I really do. And then as you keep going down, as you see like around my face, I got dark circles. I mean, not dark circles, I got dark spots. This is because when I was a kid, I never wore freaking sunscreen. I would walk my dogs in the summer, help my dad mow the grass, and I never wore sunscreen. I think I could find pictures of myself when I was younger. My skin was tanner than it is now. I used to look brown. My senior high school picture, I mean, I looked a lot tanner than I did now. Just because during the summer I would spend all day outside. And then I have this dry area around my mouth. Sometimes I do on occasion. And then from every now and then I'll get chapped lips, but that's not really a concern to me. And then one of my goals is to have brighter skin. I just want just glowing skin. I can't explain it, but I just really want that shiny, glowing look to my skin. And then another weakness on my face is I am bloated. I have a puffy face. I have a puffy face that is due to because I'm a bit heavier. I'm about 15 pounds heavier than I was a few years ago. So it wouldn't hurt me to lose 5 pounds. And then as you keep going lower and lower, I don't have any, well, I do have acne. I have actually back acne on my back. It's not that horrible, but it is something that I need to think about in the future. And I do need to lose weight, as you guys can see. I have poor posture because I think during the COVID pandemic, it really ruined my posture, laying down in bed all day. And I have anterior pelvic tilt, which means that my hips literally do not align with my back. It's not a straight line, it's a curve, which is horrible because as I get older, it's only gonna become more worse. So I need to fix that by sitting down and laying down correctly and doing exercises. And then other than that, that's all good. So this is what I mean by having your weaknesses, because once you know your weaknesses when it comes to Looksmaxing, you know which areas that you need to fix. And this goes back to Unit 1, Section 1 on building that foundation. You need to know what you are rebuilding for. You need to know what your goals are before you actually start self improving. Right, now I am back talking with you in person. Oh, that made no sense. Anyway, alright, okay, enough of that horrible Beowulf footage. I tried to be aesthetic, but it's not really aesthetic. Now it's time for you guys to see my face. Okay, so we talked about the 5 things, face shape, hair type, skin type / skin color, and then your body type, body shape, and then your weaknesses. These fundamentals are the foundation of Looksmaxing. Once you understand them, you can make more informed decisions about what products to use, what styles to try, which type of clothing will enhance your natural shape, what supplements to take, and how to exercise so that you can target those weak points. And you can also target your goals. Looksmaxing is all about maxing out all of your traits, like in a video game. You want to get 10 out of 10 out of everything. That's what Looksmaxing is maxing out all of your genetics to its full potential. Looksmaxing versus self-improvement. Here's the thing. Looksmaxing focuses solely on physical appearance only. It's not about building mental or eternal confidence. It's not about building discipline or self-worth. It's not about building good habits. You can still watch porn, don't want to get demonetized. You can still drink alcohol, you can still do all these bad habits, but still Looksmax. Whereas if you're on self-improvement, you have to do all of those things. You have to Looksmax, you have to follow good habits. Think of Looksmaxing as a branch of self-improvement. Both need to work together. Both connect with each other. You can't have one without the other. Looksmaxing as a concept, Looksmaxing as a whole didn't really exist until the early 2000s. Its purpose was to honestly just create the most optimized based on your looks. Looksmaxing wasn't really a thing until literally when phones became a thing and people became self-conscious about their looks, and then people became more knowledgeable about morning routines, night routines, and all that. But that doesn't mean sacrificing your personal style over preferences or over trends. Looksmaxing is just a trend. It really is. Your personal style is key. Just because your face shape will traditionally suit a certain type of haircut doesn't mean that you don't have to do something different that makes you happy. Or it doesn't mean that you have to get that specific haircut just because your face shape is of a circle or a square. If you want to get the haircut and then just get it. But Looksmaxing is literally just about maximizing your genetics. For example, my face shape is like a mix between a circle and a bit of a square, kind of. And I have a bit of a more feminine jaw structure, but I do have a more prominent jaw structure than the average female. And that's just my opinion. But when I got my buzz cut, I didn't take that into consideration because I wanted to get a buzz cut just so I could start fresh. Yeah, a buzz cut didn't really suit my face because I look like a boiled egg. But I got it anyway because it made me happy. So the same thing applies to clothing and these, morning routines, night routines. Same thing applies with what you put on your body and in your body. If you like it, and then do it. If you love it, wear it. If you like the shirt, and then wear it. It doesn't have to, I can't wear this shirt because I'm not white enough, I'm not brown enough. Who cares? Looksmaxing is just a tool. And it's not a rule book, it's not something that you have to follow by. Maybe use it once in a while when you're getting ready for a date or some special job interview, get that perfect haircut. But if you don't like getting that specific haircut just because you have to get that haircut because of your face shape, fuck off. Who cares? Always stay true to what makes you feel confident and happy. Timing your Looksmaxing. In Unit 2, I mentioned that getting a buzz cut, we all have to get a buzz cut, to symbolize a new beginning. Now, after completing that goal, after you get your buzz cut to start fresh, like we talked about in Unit 2, after you get past that awkward buzz cut phase and when you're ready, to get that trimmed up, to get a new haircut, now it's time to get that haircut. Now it's time to get a well thought out haircut that fits your personality. Category 1 is to get your haircut and aesthetic. The first step is just to get a haircut based on your face shape. If you want, that's just fucking optional. You don't have to get a haircut based on your face shape. And then another tip is when you do get your haircut, or when you're about to get your haircut, buy clippers and scissors. Because you can save a whole lot of money getting your haircut by yourself. I mean, if you're getting a haircut, every maybe like $50 a month, it's gonna add up, right? But when you buy a set of clippers is $100 one time. It's just a one-time purchase. And then you can use that set of clippers for 5 plus 10 years. You can save a whole lot of money. And then too, the thing with haircut is that if you have short haircuts, the more often you need to get that trimmed up, which is probably about every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even every week, depending on the person and depending what job you have. If you have longer hair, you don't have to get as much haircuts as possible, but that's just something to keep in mind of. Because the last thing you want when you get your haircut is to go back into bad habits. The last thing you want is to get a nice fresh haircut and then 2 weeks later you look like shit. So just keep that in mind, that if you want to, start Looksmaxing or even just get a generic haircut, make sure you maintain that haircut as long as possible. And two, even getting a pair of clippers can save you so much time and money, because once you get that haircut at the salon or barber shop, wherever you choose, and then you can use the clippers or scissors and every so often just shape it up, and you can save so much money. Category 2 is hair care essentials. Here's the basics. Natural soap and antibacterial soap, shampoo, conditioner, hair serum, if optional. And here's a tip. Keep your hair clean. If it's dirty, wash your hair. Like for me, since I have oily hair, I have to wash it once a day. And keep it trimmed like we talked about in category 1. Keep it trimmed every so often. Hair care is that we all know that shampoo cleans hair. I just say get a natural soap and antibacterial soap, because you also want to get rid of that bacteria. Shampoo doesn't clean bacteria. Shampoo cleans the dirt and then it moisturizes the hair. And then if you have dry hair, oily hair, it adds volume. There's all kinds of shampoo that adds volume and all that stuff that you can read about it here. There's all kinds of different shampoos. But the thing that shampoos don't do is get rid of bacteria. And in the age of viruses, it's really good to use soaps every so often. And depending on your hair, using especially an antibacterial soap, it will dry out your scalp even more. So if you do have dandruff, or if you just have a dry scalp, and then you use a soap, it will make that even more worse. But for someone like me, if you have this average hair, using a natural soap every so often will not hurt it. It will actually make it a bit better. I use a natural, sometimes I alternate between a natural soap and an antibacterial soap, just because a natural soap just seems better because there's less chemicals in it. And I always have this fear of I'm gonna get cancer, so I always alternate between the two. But having an antibacterial soap is definitely more stronger. I only use a antibacterial soap, I would say like every 2 or 3 days. So pretty often, but not as often, like every 2 or 3 days. And then on the days that I don't use the Dial antibacterial soap, I use just a natural soap. And then sometimes I use shampoo. And I know that most of the time, I would say 80% of the time when I shower, when it's my day to use an antibacterial soap, I'll literally just put soap. I'll just use soap and that's it. But on the days that I don't use the antibacterial soap, I'll just use my shampoo. And then a conditioner is optional, and then a hair serum. I mean, you read all about these Looksmaxing materials that you need a shampoo, then you need a shampoo before the shampoo, then you need a cleanser, then you need a hair max. Right? We're going to talk about that a bit later, about all the things that you need. But this is this what you need. And then a hair serum is optional. If, for instance, if you want to add more volume, or you have any other weaknesses that we talked about, and then maybe a hair serum will be right for you. I mean, if a hair serum is basically almost like a lotion for your face. It's optional, it's optional. Me, I just use natural soap, antibacterial soap, and shampoo. That's it. Category 3 is skincare. You need a morning and night routine, of course. These are the only equipment that you need. Cleanser, a serum, eye cream, moisturizer, and then if it's sunny out, you need an SPF, you need the sunscreen. And sometimes too, there's sunscreens mixed up with moisturizers, like it's a all in one. And then at night, cleanser, soap, serum, eye cream, and then moisturizer. Is that 5 things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was weird. So what a cleanser does is it cleans out the pores of the skin, obviously. A cleanser doesn't get rid of the bacteria. A cleanser works really, really well if you wear makeup. But even if you don't wear makeup, cleanser is really helpful. It gets rid of the oil on your skin. And then you want to add a serum. So a serum is for your weaknesses. It's kind of optional. You don't have to get a serum. So what I mean by weaknesses is that, for instance, if your weakness is dark spots like mine, get a serum that eliminates dark spots. I think vitamin A gets rid of dark spots, I'm not really sure. Or if your goal is to have really bright skin, do a serum that has vitamin C. Or if your goal is to get, less wrinkles, get a serum that eliminates wrinkles, and then so on. And then after that, you want to get an eye cream. Everybody needs an eye cream, regardless if they have, oh my god, that's horrible, dark circles, and like mine. Like, regardless. Because if you read anything about Looksmaxing, cleanser, serum, eye cream, and then moisturizer are usually the first 4 things. Well, also 5 things. Sunscreen are the first 5 things when it comes to skincare. Then all the other are like, you need a toner, and then you need a cleanser before the cleanser. Oh, fuck off. This is a how-to dummy guide on skincare. These are just the essentials, okay? And then you need a moisturizer, just any type of moisturizer depending on your skin type. And then some type of sunscreen for the sun. And then too, with the sunscreen, you want to get a clear sunscreen, because sometimes sunscreens are really thick. You don't want to look really white. You want to get a sunscreen that's water-based. Then at night, you want to get a cleanser and then soap. Why soap? Because a cleanser doesn't get rid of the bacteria. You need to get rid of the bacteria. If you're just using a cleanser on your face but not soap, that's a bit of a problem. At night, I shower at around 5 p.m., so I just do that in the shower. And to be honest with you, at night, I don't cleanse my face at night. I just shower, soap, because I don't use makeup. But in the morning, I use a cleanser. And then I get out of the shower, I put my serum on, eye cream, and then moisturizer. These are tips, apply thinnest to thickest, pat your face and don't rub. I mean, most of the time you want to apply the thinnest product, but sort of. But then also you want to do it in this order. You always want to cleanse your face first. Always. And then if you want to, use soap, and then use soap. You can also go soap and cleanser, or cleanser and soap. It doesn't matter, but either one needs to go first. And then since the serum, you want to do the serum after you have all done that, and then pat it down, okay? And then after that, you want to get the eye cream, and then you want to get the moisturizer in that specific order. And then sunscreen goes on last. But if you're lucky, I highly recommend get a moisturizer that's infused with sunscreen so that you don't have to apply it again. And then if you get a separate bottle for sunscreen, when you put it on, you will look like a ghost. There's sunscreens out there where when you put it on, and you could tell you put sunscreen on. Like, it's really, really heavy. But when you get a sunscreen that's infused with a moisturizer, when you put it on, you can't even tell. That's basically what the goal is. If you're going to the beach, where's the beach? If you're going to the beach, and then put on a separate pair of sunscreen, if that makes sense. When you're going to work, just going to the gym, driving in the car, just use the moisturizer that's infused with sunscreen. And then when you're out at the beach, when you're doing yard work, and then really freaking pile that on. Sunscreen is important so that you don't get dark spots like I do. I never had dark spots in my life. It just started recently showing up when I was in high school. Like in high school, I just started having these dark spots, and because no one ever taught me how to use sunscreen. During the summer, I would spend 6 hours outside. Yeah. It's horrible. Like this right here did not show up until high school. Honest to God. So I'm just trying to teach you my mistakes. If you are planning on spending more than an hour outside when it's, 80 degrees, sunscreen. On a cloudy day, like today's actually pretty cloudy. If you can't see if you go outside and if you can't see the sun, then more than likely you probably don't need sunscreen, but it's really important to put sunscreen on, so that's why it's important to get a sunscreen that's infused with moisturizer. But even those can be a bit expensive, so what I do, a little DIY hack, is you get your moisturizer, you get your sunscreen, and then you mix it up. You mix it up so it's not as potent, so the sunscreen isn't really white when you put it on your face. You mix it up, and then you apply it on. You can do that as well. And then another thing is to track how your face looks. Because there's going to be products out there where you put it, especially moisturizers. Moisturizers is one of those things where, is it working? I don't fucking know. So you really need to substitute your products. You need to try new products. So that you can know, which products works for you. With me, I've kind of lucked out on the moisturizer part because since I have oily skin, I can use any moisturizer I want. I can just use a generic average brand moisturizer, whereas if somebody has eczema or acne, they have to get a specific moisturizer. But for me, I just go to the store, I get any old thing. But the eye cream, that's where, dude, eye cream is really expensive because I have to get a specific eye cream that's made for dark circles. And so that's why it's really important to know your skin type that we talked about, beforehand. Because in order to get all these materials, you need to know your skin type first. It's 11:40 a.m. and I shower at about around 5-ish p.m. and you can see in the afternoon, you could even see my face it really is disgusting. I'm just a very sweaty person. Even though I'm genetically a woman, And I have to say this in 2026 because people are like, oh, you're a woman, but are you really? Do you have boobs? I don't see you have boobs. And so you really have to say it, because sometimes people who say, are you a boy or girl? Yeah, I'm a boy. Or yeah, I'm a girl. Then they go, so are you trans? Is that really who you identify as? So now when people say, like, are you a girl and you a boy? Then I just always say I'm biologically a girl, because it shuts them up. Because they never ask follow-up questions. Because if I say, yeah, I'm a girl, they go like, so are you transgender? Because you look like a guy? I mean, what's happening here? So if I say biologically, then they don't say all that. Anyway, that was my little rant. All of it sounds freaking complicated. I inserted video links here if you're interested. All of it's very confusing because it can be very confusing when you first start Looksmaxing, but... And then moving on to a serum. You want to get a serum that's... Everybody needs a serum to fix your weakness or your goals. If your goal is to get bright skin, get a serum. Just one serum. Yeah, you can get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 serums, but just start small. Because you don't want to apply too many serums at the same time, because it'll counteract with one another. Because sometimes the ingredients will fuse with one another and it just won't work. You know what I mean? So you really have to be considerate with how much product you put on your face, because sometimes they could counteract each other and they're not working. And then also too, especially with serums, when you apply the serum, you have to make sure it really sits on the face. It really absorbs in the skin. And then eye cream, get a basic eye cream. And then the moisturizer is, if you have dry skin, get a moisturizer that says, for dry skin. Or get a moisturizer that says for oily skin, acne skin, and blah, blah, blah. Another tip is to avoid chemicals. Okay, this is going to be a laundry list of chemicals to avoid. These chemicals can cause liver cancer, breast cancer, reproductive harm, brain cancer, but they still put it on products. If you can't eat it, what makes you think it's safe to put on your face? Because if you put it on your face, it absorbs into the skin, into the bloodstream, right? Same thing when you eat food. You eat food, it absorbs, through the body, and then it goes all throughout the body. So if it's not safe to eat, don't eat it. If you don't know how to pronounce it, most likely it's not good for you. If it has numbers in it, probably not good for you. If you see an ingredient that has numbers in it, abbreviation like EDA, or a long and elongated word that you have no idea what it means, don't use it. Just plain and simple. Another tip, it's not really a tip, but sun protection. If you go out for a long period of time, wear a hat, sunglasses. Yeah, you will look a bit fucking ridiculous, but do you want skin cancer? Do you want dark spots like I have right now? No. You are on your self-improvement journey, and sometimes when it comes to Looksmaxing, you need to become selfish. I'm sorry. You may look a bit ridiculous. And two, when I was living in Tennessee, I would literally walk my dog with the ski mask on. Literally, I would. So I could protect myself from the sun. I would. True story, because in Tennessee, the sun it's there. It burns your skin. Whereas now I'm back in Washington, now I don't have to do that. I like the weather here in Washington a bit more, just because I'm already a sweaty person. Even my hands are sweaty. I have a condition, I don't know if you can see that, it's like glistening. I have a condition called hyperhidrosis, which is just excessive sweating. I have a lot of sweat glands in my hands. I don't know if you can see that, but... And then two, if you can, just don't go outside when the sun's out. Or go outside early in the morning and in the evenings. Just don't go out in the afternoons. So again, in this order, just get a simple cleanser, serum, eye cream, moisturizer, sunscreen. That's for the morning. Night is cleanser, wash your face with soap to get rid of the bacteria because there's viruses out there. Serum, eye cream, and then moisturizer. And then two, another tip is that what I do is that since I have dark spots, I have a dark spot serum, and then I also have a serum that's vitamin C. Sometimes in the morning, I use the dark spot serum, and then at night I use the vitamin C serum. You want to just mix up the serums. You don't want to add them together. Do one and then do the other one later on in the day, if that makes sense. Category 4 is body care. We all need a natural soap, antibacterial. Oh, I gotta add that. Antibacterial soap, and deodorant, and body lotion. Is that 3? No, that's 4 things. Dumbass, that's 4 things. And then these are just optional. A body wash, just to smell good. And then either a fragrance, a cologne or perfume to match the vibe. So when it comes to body care, it's really important to clean yourself. That's why you want to get a natural soap. But sometimes, like I said, it's going to be inevitable that you have to use chemicals. Using an antibacterial soap is an essential because it cleans off the bacteria, especially if you're around a lot of people every day, especially if you work in healthcare, if you're a doctor. Antibacterial soap works wonders. So what I do is that I like to alternate between the days. I'll use a natural soap, and then next day later I'll use a antibacterial soap, and then I'll just go back and forth. A natural soap is really good because it cleans the body, but it doesn't really clean the dirt, right? It just makes you smell good. Whereas antibacterial soap, it cleans off the bacteria. And then obviously we all need a deodorant because, this smell. And then we need to moisturize the body. And then if you have problems with acne around your body or eczema, and then you need to get a serum and all that. But just for the average person, everybody needs one natural soap, antibacterial soap, a deodorant, and a body shampoo. I don't know why I counted like that. That was so weird. And then these are just optional because you always look at these Looksmaxing videos of, you need a body wash, you need a body wash is optional only because it doesn't get rid of bacteria. It only makes you smell good. And then sometimes with some body washes, it can help exfoliate the skin and all that stuff. So it's optional. It's there. If you have the extra money to go get it, and then go get it. But you need to be careful too, because with body washes, there's chemicals in body washes. Copious amount of chemicals. The point of Looksmaxing is to look good, is to smell good. But it's also about self-improvement. It's about improving your body. You don't want to harm yourself in the long run just to smell good. Because there's been studies shown where when people use a specific type of body wash, those people are more likely to develop cancers later on in life. So be aware of that. That's why it's really good to use all natural. And it sucks too because it's just how the world is. The healthy stuff is the most expensive stuff. It really is. And then this is just a weekly and monthly maintenance. Check your shoes, clothes, to make sure there's no holes in them. Throw them away, because the last thing you want to do is wear clothes that has holes in them. I'm at fault with that because I'm unemployed. I have no money, and I have to wear what I got. And then you want to make sure your outfits are on fleek. You got good outfits on. Okay, and then when it comes to body, these are the tools that you need. You need some kind of towel to shower with, like a loofah or something. And then 2, once a week you gotta put that shit in the laundry. Some people don't think they just put it in the laundry to just dry it out. You gotta wash it because it collects mold when it gets wet and you're dirty. So wash it every time you do the laundry. And then you need clippers, like nail clippers and all that. Scissors or razors to trim up the body. We'll talk about grooming literally in the next category. And then obviously people don't know this, or they just don't understand it, especially men, straight men. Do not use the same towel to wipe your ass that you use to wash your face or dry your hands. It's just that simple. When you shower, when you dry off your body, you need to use a new towel. Just don't dry it the next day, and then use it the next day. Use a new towel every freaking time you shower. That's probably why you have acne on your back, like I did. I used to have really horrible back acne, but I fixed it because now I don't use the same towel every day. Maybe it's placebo, but the day that I stopped using the same towel every day to shower with, I don't have acne anymore. How can I explain that? I don't know. And then I used to have eczema like on my shoulders. Now I don't. And I think it's because I don't dry myself with the same towel. Category 5 is grooming tips. These are everything that you need, or sort of. You need a loofah, which we talked about. You need a loofah, you need a towel to dry off with. Q-tips, comb, tweezers, nail clippers, hair clips, and then hair clippers to cut your hair so you can clip your hair. And then sometimes you need clips so you can hang up your hair, and hair clippers, I don't know. Cut your hair. You need scissors and then a dermablane. That's kind of optional. For you ladies out there, it's not really a masculine thing to have, just because most guys just use a razor just to shave their face. But a dermablade is really good because it gets rid of all the dead skin. I use that at like once every 2 weeks. And then you need a body razor. The days or the weeks that I don't use a dermablade, I could really tell. Like, my skin is very rough. But since I just used it, I think the last time my dermablade was, I think, like 4 days ago, my skin is really, really smooth. It's oily, but it's smooth. And then too, I have a lot of body hair. I collect, like, this is my arm hair. You can't really see it because it's a foggy day. I don't know where I get all, look at that. I think I was born to be a lesbian or something, because I am just very, very masculine when it comes to body hair. Do you see that? And then I have a lot of hair on my legs, so I just don't shave my legs anymore. Just because I just like that masculine look, and because I find no need with shaving my legs, because who am I trying to look pretty for? I'm single, so I just have a lot of, I just have a lot of body hair on my arm. I remember in high school I was so insecure about my arm hair. I remember I shaved my arm hair, and within 2 weeks it grew back to the same length that it is now. So I just dermablaned about 4 days ago. But if I don't dermablane in about a week and a half, I'll have hairs. Little tiny hairs all around my jawline. And I'll develop a little mustache here. And then even with my unibrow, I gotta trim them too a little bit. But if I don't go in there and trim like every week or every 2 weeks, I have a lot of hair around my face. Like, it gets kind of disgusting at times just because I don't know where all this hair comes from, And my hair grows extremely fast. I got a haircut last week and the sides are already grown out. I just collect a lot of hair. Some people will be a bit different. Some people grow a lot of hair or not. And then too, when you groom yourself, when you groom your body, I also want to say this. Do what you love. Just because a person tells you that you need to shave off your penis, you can't have pubic hair, doesn't mean you want or you shouldn't have pubic hair. If you like that look, and then do it. But it's all about maintaining that vibe and then stick with it. If you want to have that shaved look, and then keep it shaved, keep it maintained. And then every time you cut yourself. Every time you shave and even trim your nails, you want to disinfect the tool. Never share your tools. I don't care what it is. Never share. And sanitize. Sanitize your tools every time you use them. And then once a week, you want to cut your nails. It depends on the aesthetic that you want to have. Me, I cut my nails about once a week just because I like the aesthetic. Because I play the piano and the guitar and I'm a lesbian. I don't like long nails. What I do is to keep track of my grooming is that every Sunday I spend 20 extra minutes in the shower and that's it. I do all of my shaving once a week and that's it. That's it. I cut my nails, cut my toenails, I dermablane, I do all that once a week. And I have it in my schedule. Every Sunday when I shower, that's what I do. So that's a good tip, that when it comes to grooming, you want to set a time of, okay, every Saturday, every Monday, I'm going to do this in a set time. You don't want to wait and be like, maybe I should get a haircut today because it's looking long. It's about time. You don't want to wait till it's about time. You want to maintain it, okay? You want to have a schedule. Okay, every week I'm going to do this. Because I used to be that person. When I was in middle school and high school, I would be like, I haven't shaved my armpits in a month. I think it's time. Yeah, you don't say. Yeah. Like, I haven't cut my nails in a month, and they're long, and I don't like that long look. It's about time. Yeah, don't you fucking think? Jesus Christ. And then another tip when it comes to grooming, like we talked about in category 1, I believe, of cutting your hair, is honestly, cut your own hair. I mean, cut yourself. Cut yourself. Because you can save so much money. So much money. I mean, I cut my own hair. It does look good. But I did have to go to a salon a week ago. I mean, like, almost like 2 weeks ago, just because my mom wanted me to go. Because I have a job interview and all that. But I cut my own hair most of the time, just to save money. Category 6 is oral hygiene. And no, it's not what you think. Alright? Fuck what other people say. Brush your teeth 3 times a day. Okay? No, you should brush your teeth hypothetically 2 times a day. You should hypothetically brush your teeth every hour on the hour. Oh, boo-hoo. Brush your teeth 3 times a day. First thing when you wake up, because when you sleep, you accumulate bacteria in your teeth, and in your mouth. And then when you drink water, when you eat food, all that bacteria in your mouth, it absorbs within the food. You eat the food, and then it goes in your stomach, and you get colon cancer. There's been studies shown that people who don't brush their teeth as often as people who do brush their teeth before eating a meal are less likely to develop colon cancer and heart disease. Why? I don't know. Probably because it's a bacteria. Then you want to brush your teeth after breakfast, or somewhere in like the mid mornings or in the mid afternoons. I do mine at first when I wake up, like 5 minutes. 5 minutes within I wake up, I brush my teeth, and then I eat my breakfast. And then I think about 30-45 minutes after my breakfast, I brush my teeth again, so that I could start my day. Because people work, and typically they eat breakfast and then they go to work, and then they go 12 plus hours without brushing your teeth before they come home, and all that food, all that gunk is going to be in your teeth for 12 plus hours a day. And then you talk to people, right? So brush your teeth. It's kind of optional, but I just brush my teeth after breakfast, and then throughout the day I chew all natural xylitol. No, that's not how to pronounce it. Xylitol gum. No chemicals, no cancer, no dyes, no sugar. All natural to prevent cavities. I have never had a cavity in my life except one time. 2 years ago, I went to the dentist for the first. I haven't been to the dentist. Well, before then, I haven't been to a dentist in about 5 years. I went to the dentist for the very first time 2 years ago, within 4 years. And then I got one cavity, like up here in my back teeth. Shocked me dead. Because before I started college, I would go to the dentist, I think, once a year or twice a year, because I was under my parents' medical insurance, because I was under 18. And then when I was over 18, I got kicked off because obviously I'm an adult. I have to pay for my own medical insurance, so I didn't go to the dentist until after I graduated college. So that's about like 4 or 5 years without going. And they found one cavity. And for the whole week, it just ruined me, because when I was a kid, I never had any problems with my teeth. It ruined me. It did. And then also, before that point, I never chewed xylitol gum. when I was in high school, I used to chew gum a lot. I used to be that kid that would always bring gum to school, and people were like, oh, I need gum. I would always be the drug dealer of gum when I was in high school. I was that student. And then I stopped going to college because I graduated, and then I stopped chewing gum, and then I went to the dentist, and then I got a cavity. Coincidence? I think fucking not. And then too, it keeps your breath fresh throughout the day, doesn't keep it dry. And for me, my body, some people may be different. My mouth is just naturally dry. I think it's maybe because I've been so used to chewing gum most of my life when I was a kid. But I'm not really sure. I just have a naturally dry mouth, and my mouth, I'm just gonna be fucking honest with you. If I don't brush my teeth after breakfast, my mouth will smell. Like, for some reason, when I eat food, my mouth smells horribly bad as compared to other people. You know what I mean? Like, if someone, I don't know, just an example, if, I don't know, I don't know, let's just say a hamburger. I don't like hamburgers, but if someone ate the same hamburger as I did, my mouth will smell more bad than theirs. That's just how it is with me. And then, too, you want to brush your teeth before bed, because obviously you want to get rid of all that gunk that you've accumulated throughout the day. And you don't want to go to sleep with all that food in your mouth, because when your mouth is closed, it's not a lot of circulation. And then, that's how you get cavities. So brush your teeth first thing in the morning if you don't want cancer. And then brush your teeth somewhere like in the mid-afternoon or after breakfast, whenever, like the midday. Chew gum throughout the day. That's kind of optional. It's just optional if you want. And then brush your teeth at night. Brush your teeth 3 times a day, and then chew gum throughout the day. And then floss. Flossing is very important. You want to floss your teeth once a day. I do mine at night. And then you do want to do a mouthwash. Alright? Once or twice a day. And then use an electric toothbrush. Electric toothbrush will work wonders. And then, use a tongue scraper too. You want to brush your tongue about once a day. And the thing with the tongue scraper is some people have a metal tongue scraper, and then some have a plastic tongue scraper. It honestly just depends. Some people don't like to use a metal tongue scraper because it contains chemicals. But then also when you use a plastic tongue scraper, it also has plastic in it. So, I mean, you're fucked either way you go, to be honest with you. And then the same thing with the mouthwash. This is weird. Store-based mouthwash, like especially Colgate, like the famous brands, they put blue dye. They put food coloring in mouthwash. Read the goddamn, I'm not even kidding with you. Read the label. Everything that you put on your body and in your body, you need to read the labels. Having coloring dye in your mouthwash seems problematic to me. It really does. I buy all natural mouthwash, all natural, all that stuff. But to be honest, if you can afford it and then buy it, it's just one of those things where if you have the extra cash and the do buy it, a lot of these Looksmaxing, it will cost you a lot of money, and it sucks, especially in America. It's just usually the most healthiest thing are the most expensive things. It sucks. And then, but yet, America wants you to buy these unhealthy things because they're cheaper, but then medical insurance is impossible to afford. It just doesn't really make sense to me. A healthy mouth, a clean mouth, is a happy mouth. That made no freaking sense. That really made no sense. That made no sense at all. And then, too, I want to say this, that when you watch these Looksmaxing videos, it's, if your teeth are not white, if they're not straight, fix it. You look stupid. Who cares? Who cares if you have a gap between your teeth? I mean, I don't. I had braces when I was a kid. If you're insecure about your teeth, and then fix it. But just because someone on the internet tells you your teeth looks horrible, doesn't mean you need to fix your teeth. Doesn't mean you need to spend thousands of dollars to fix your teeth just because someone else told you to. At the end of the day, to me, my personal opinion, to me, when it comes to your mouth area, your teeth. If it's clean, and then who cares if you're missing one tooth? I mean, who cares? It's all about hygiene, right? I mean, who cares? I mean, for me, at least, who cares? I wasn't naturally born with straight teeth. I wore braces. Hopefully, I can find pictures of myself when I was a kid when I wore braces, but I wore braces when I was in medical school, so I believe my first time wearing braces was in 3rd grade, and then all the way up until 7th grade, so most of my early childhood, I wore braces. And then I had to wear my retainer, but I stopped wearing my retainer when I started college. And I'm fine. You know, everyone tells you, oh, you need to wear your retainer. The day you stop wearing it, all hell is gonna break loose. I haven't worn my retainer in 5 years, and I feel fine. I don't like to smile. I don't really like to smile. Anyway, category 7 is fashion and wardrobe. This is just something that I made up, you know, watching all of these Looksmaxing videos on how to address your aesthetic. This is just something that I've made up with my personal opinion, is you want to start with 3 outfits. You want to have 3 outfits for casual, 3 outfits for like a social outing, something that's fun, and then you want to have 3 outfits for work/business, so 9 outfits in total. I say this because you want to alternate between these outfits. You don't want to wear the same outfit every single time. And then if you plan out what outfits you want to wear, people will respect you more and you're going to look better, and you don't have to waste your time figuring out what you're going to wear. It's really important to have 3, you know, different outfits for each occasion, so 9 in total. So just have 3 outfits. So it's something that's like casual, going to the store. And then you want to have another 3, just so maybe something social, maybe something's fun, maybe something a little bit more sexy, more revealing. And then you want to get another 3 sets of outfits for work or/business, so you can alternate. And then another tip is to dress for your body type. You know, you want to accentuate some curves or don't accentuate some curves. This is totally all up to you. And then again, this goes back to, just because your body is a V-taper or you're not a V-taper or whatever, doesn't mean you have to dress for your style. If you like wearing a certain type of color, and then wear it. You don't have to be a certain skin color to wear a certain type of color. If you like it, and then just wear it. Looksmaxing, it's basically saying fuck your feelings, fuck what you feel, do what other people say, and do what the evidence wants you to do. That's basically what Looksmaxing is. Self-improvement is a mix between those things. It's, yeah, you like doing it, but it's also about becoming better. And then it's also about not doing what other people say. So self-improvement is kind of the same as Looksmaxing. They have the same elements. But just remember that Looksmaxing doesn't teach you discipline. It doesn't teach you how to become better. Self-improvement is more internal. That's why they call it self, because it's more eternal. Looksmaxing is literally, it's what the name is. It's looks, and it's maximizing your genetics so you can look the best. So at the end of the day, you need to be confident with what you wear, because for me, I'll just use me as an example. I'm a woman, and according to the Looksmaxing guide and the world of Looksmaxing on YouTube, every woman should put on makeup and look pretty, wear perfume, wear dresses, so that I could look more appealing. And it'll probably help me find a job when I go into these job interviews. Imagine me in a dress. I have worn dresses in the past so I could make my mom happy. I remember when I was little, I would have to go to church with my mom. Even in high school, when I was a little bit older, I would be hunched over. I didn't feel good. I mean, imagine if you had to wear something that you didn't want to wear. You know, imagine if you're a straight male and someone told you, oh, you have to wear makeup because you're supposed to wear makeup. How would you feel? Like, you feel like it's weird. So when it comes to Looksmaxing, I take what I want. You know, yeah, I'm supposed to wear a dress, I'm supposed to wear makeup, but I don't want all that stuff. Let me just take what I want to take out of it, you know? And at the end of the day, you know, bada boom, bada bing. You gotta do what you love. Love what you do in the process. It's just, Looksmaxing is just a collection of things that you should do. Or it's just tips. It's there if you need it, right? It's there. Like, for example, when I go into a job interview, I may look a little bit more feminine. I know I don't have my gold chain. I wear something a little bit more feminine. I don't wear my Nike Jordans, you know. I'm a little bit more feminine. I try to wear clothes that accentuate some of my curves. I try. You know, so when I do go out in public, and I especially have to meet people, I do. It sucks because I don't like wearing women clothes, because when I do go out, I wear some of my mom's clothes because we almost have the same proportions. And it just sucks, man, but, you know, I hold in my anger and I just do it, and it sucks. And then when I come home, I can be who I want. But just always remember this. Wear what you want. Wear what you want, you know, and don't worry about trends, because trends will always come around. It's like the early 2000s. After that, baggy clothes was not a thing anymore. Everyone wanted the tight fitting clothes, and then now baggy clothes are back in fashion. Just wear what you want to wear, but always keep that in mind of dressing your body type so that you could look the best. Just something to keep in mind of. And then also too, you want to find your aesthetic. So what I mean by aesthetic is that I'll insert pictures here. There's even a video here as well that you guys can watch as well. Just watch that video if you want. You don't have to watch it. It's there, you know, if you need it. You want to find your aesthetic. Aesthetic is basically, what do you find the most appealing? What do you like to do? You know, what clothes appeal to you? And then also too, with your aesthetic, you can find your aesthetic, and then you could build clothes around your aesthetic, you know. Like, for example, I would say my aesthetic is somewhere between the Jersey Shore, futuristic, 90s hip-hop, early 2000s. I grew up watching a lot of MTV, and I don't know, something about the aesthetic, especially of the male side, of doing the gold chain, the gold watch. Hold on, I don't have my gold watch on right now, so I'm filming a video. You know, the gold watch, the gold earrings, which I have, that I only wear out in public. And I always gotta have, you know, the t-shirt with the pictures on it. I got pictures on this one, you know. I gotta have the blue jeans with the holes in them. So that's kind of my style. It's if I had all the money in the world, I would literally be the epitome of what Mike the Situation looked like in Jersey Shore. Something about the fashion back then, I just love. I really do. And so, you know, when it comes to finding your aesthetic, you just have to find what feels right to you. It's really hard to explain of how do you know when something is right for you. It's like, well, what's your favorite color? You know, my favorite color is blue. I don't know why it's my favorite color, but I just like it. I just like the way it looks. So same thing when it comes to finding your aesthetic, you know. Find your aesthetic and stick with it, you know. If you like the color pink, and then just, maybe that could just be your aesthetic, you know. Just wear pink all the time. Because once you find your personality type, once you find your aesthetic, and then that's when you can start buying shirts and pants around that aesthetic and shape of your body, if you want. Another thing that I want to point out with fashion, just because I can speak from my own personal experience, is that if you are able to wear what you want and then do it, if it feels safe to you, for me, yeah, it's kind of funny that I have a self-improvement channel and I talk about how to self-improve, but yet I still live with my parents financially. Sometimes when I dress up for a YouTube video, even my parents get mad at me. You know, and I'm gonna have a job within the next couple of months, because I'm planning on doing Uber Eats, because I'm getting a new driver's license, because I moved from Tennessee to Washington. But as soon as I get my new driver's license, You know, I have to do something. It's really hard to find a job. I mean, it's impossible. I apply to jobs and it's like, you have to have 10 plus job experience. But how can I have 10 plus job experience when no jobs will hire me? It just doesn't make sense to me. If you are someone like me who is, I don't want to say the word because every time I do, YouTube always flags my video. But you guys can probably tell. I'll just say, you know, when you are, you know, things are different for you. I did not luck out with my parents. I don't have the best relationship with them. But again, at the end of the day, I try not to complain because I live for free at this house. You know, it could always be worse. So I just want to say, when it comes to smacking and, you know, wearing what you want, sometimes you have to fake it until you make it. Because I know that there's going to be a day where I am financially free and I get to truly wear what I want to wear. This doesn't really relate to this section, but I just want to put that out there, that sometimes in society, you have to fake it until you make it. You have to behave like other people. You know, especially when you go into a workplace, just because you like wearing baggy clothes. Maybe you shouldn't wear those type of clothes when you go out in public, because people will always judge who you are as a person. When you go out in public, you need to assess who you are going to be around. And yeah, I talk all this about, you know, wearing what you want to wear, you know, be who you are. There is some truth to that. But in the real world, when you are around people, depending on where you live, you know, depending where you work at, sometimes you have to take these Looksmaxing tips to 100%. You have to listen to all of the conformities of males are supposed to look this way, females are supposed to look this way, because it can get you in trouble. Because I have dealt with that firsthand. I even did a little experiment. You know, I went to a couple of job interviews. I didn't wear this, but I wore, you know, a button-up t-shirt and pants. But they were a little bit more on the masculine side of things. And the interview was quickly shut down. Especially when I was in Tennessee, applying for jobs, they even asked, like, you know, are you... They even did. And then I told them, like, I didn't give them a yes or no answer. I just said, excuse me, you know, how does this relate to the job position, right? And then they told me that, unfortunately, they told me that the interview has to end. Well, as here in Washington, yeah, they're a little bit more lenient on my type of people. But even then, I do, when I go into job interviews, I always dress a little bit more conservative. So that's just something to talk about. Everything in life is all about money and how you present yourself. It's really, really important. Even if you don't have money to buy the suit and the tie or the dress, you need to make the most of what you got. Everything in this world is about people judging others, how people view you. Even if you are poor, you have to look like that you are rich. This is the world that we live in today. The next section, I'm going to talk about popular Looksmaxing tips that work and don't work. These are just tips like mewing, thumb pulling, and all that stuff. Then after that, we're going to be talking about homework. This is the summary of the unit. So moving on to popular Looksmaxing tips that we all have heard of. Things that have worked and don't work based on my experience and on my freaking research as someone on self-improvement. And then also, before I dropped my pen. Sometimes when I film videos, I like to fadaddle with the pen. I want to add that why should I listen to this dumb person, right? You know, listen to me because I'm doing it with you. I'm not attractive at all in any means possible. I'm not. Listen to me because I'm doing this with you. I'm watching these nonsensical Looksmaxing videos on mewing, thumb pulling. I've done it. Things are gonna be different for you, I promise. 2026 is going to be our year to change. It really is. We can become better together as a community. In this asylum, we're all crazy, you know, we're all weird. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter who you like. It doesn't matter. All that matters is if you're happy with who are you becoming. Who are you becoming? All that matters is that if you're happy with the person that you are becoming. Okay, these are all of the Looksmaxing tips that we all have heard of in all of these stupid 5-minute short videos or 20-minute long videos. I've broken this up into 3 lists. Things that absolutely do work, things that are placebo, could possibly work, but doesn't really. And then the last list are dangerous and could possibly lead to death. Yeah. So these are things that definitely do work. I organized this into health and body. Sleep. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night more consistently. Get consistent sleep. I mean, go to bed at the same time. It doesn't matter if you wake up at 4 a.m. or you wake up at 10 a.m. All that matters is that go to bed at the same time every day. Because what people don't realize is that you can be just as productive as someone waking up at 4 a.m. versus if you wake up at 10 a.m. Because we all have the same amount of hours in the day. We all have 24 hours in a day, then you subtract about 8, because of sleep, you have about 15, 16 hours left in the day. Just because David Goggins tells you that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. doesn't mean you have to. Because all that matters is that do you get your goals done? We all have the same amount of hours in the day. Just because you wake up at 4 a.m. doesn't really it doesn't really make you have gained 1 more hour left in the day or 2 more hours left in the day. It doesn't really work like that. Manage your time and get consistent sleep. Drink water. The rule is water is that you want to do your weight, divide by 1.5, and that's how many ounces of water that you need to drink. So for example, I'm 135, I divided that by 1.5, and I got 90 ounces, which equals to a little over 11 cups of water. But for me, I drink 10 because I feel the best at 10, but that's just a good rule to follow, especially if you exercise and you drink more water. But that's just a good rule to follow, is that you do your weight, divide 1.5, and that's fairly how much water you should drink in a day. I drink 10 because that's what I feel the best at. Eating healthy, more specifically eating healthy ingredients, getting rid of anything that has numbers. I mean, if your food has numbers in it, you shouldn't be eating numbers. Or if you can't pronounce it, most likely you shouldn't eat it. And if the ingredient has more sugar and then it has protein and then you shouldn't be eating it, do your cardio, walk 10,000 steps a day, do physical exercise in terms of strength training. And then if you are a bit on the heavier side, consider losing a couple pounds here and there. There's nothing wrong with being a bit fluffy. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you see it hindering your life, or if you're having health problems because of it, it wouldn't hurt to lose a couple of pounds. I think everybody could benefit losing a couple pounds. Most people. And then we talked about, body fat reduction. It wouldn't hurt to lose a couple of pounds if you are overweight. If this doesn't concern you, don't worry about it. I mean, me, I could lose 10 pounds. It wouldn't hurt me. Because I'm actually in the process of actually losing weight myself. It's just that I have a harder time losing weight because I have empty stomach syndrome and reactive hypoglycemia. I have health conditions that hinder me from exercising. Because if I exercise too much, my blood sugar goes low and then I pass out. It's a phenomenon. I mean, I made a video about it on this channel, talking about it. It's intense. And then this sounds crazy. Training your neck to get a thicker neck. This kind of falls in the line of placebo. It's kind of dangerous, but it's kind of not. If you don't participate in a sport that's like football or even basketball, or what else, like wrestling, training your neck is very important, because if you fall, it can help protect you. But you need to do it in a way that's healthy. Training your neck in the wrong way can be very dangerous for you, because you can break your neck, and there's a lot of nerves here and your head, blood flow and everything. Longevity maxing is basically what it means. There's this guy called Brian Johnson. He's literally the godfather. He is the god of longevity, where he eats all healthy foods. He doesn't eat, I think like 6 hours before bed. He does these longevity exercises. He takes all of these medications, and his goal is to basically not age. I mean, he is the god of self-improvement and looksmaxing. But he's not egotistical about it. And that's basically what longevity maxing is to, if it doesn't serve you a purpose, if it doesn't aid to you living longer, and then why consume it? Why do it? Hormonal balance is that if you have a hormonal imbalance, you need to fix that. This can go with going to a doctor. A lot of some looksmaxing people don't talk about this as often, but some do. Is that before you start looksmaxing, you need to know. Not only do you need to know, what you look like on the outside, like, yeah, I got spots on my face and all that. You need to know what's going on the inside. Get a blood test and see if everything around your body is normal. Take magnesium, calcium, and zinc, because it helps with the skin. Oh, and then biotin. I forgot to add that. Shit. Gotta take biotin for the hair. And then take a multivitamin, because we all can benefit from taking a little bit of vitamins. Reducing your screen time, because phones are bad. And there's been studies shown that people who use their phones more often are more likely to develop cancer, because there's radiation that emits. I know that I sound crazy, but it's not. And then people too who pick up the phone and they call people and they hold their phone literally to their face are more likely to develop cancer, and not so much cancer, but in other two immune deficiencies because of the radiation. And there's also been some studies shown that you need to wear gloves when you hold your phone, because the radiation seeps into your phone, and then it seeps to the bloodstream, and it gets into all kinds of areas of the body. And so a rule to follow is that if you're having a phone call, if you can, put it on speaker and don't hold it. If you're in a public space, maybe put your headphones on. And there's been studies shown too that people who use headphones causes cancer because of the radiation, but that's only been shown with people who use Bluetooth. And that's why I don't use my Bluetooth headphones anymore. I mean, Bluetooth earphones. I used to have Bluetooth earphones. Oh yeah, and headphones as well. I don't use them anymore just because of the radiation that they emit. I know it sounds crazy, but when it comes to looksmaxing and living longer and self-improvement, you have to look at these little things. It sounds crazy, but when you really think about it and you do your own research, it makes sense. And then too, with reducing screen time, is that more and more people are developing myopia, which is losing their ability to see up close. Me, I've always had bad vision just because that's just my genetics. I started wearing glasses when I was in the 3rd grade. My dad wear glasses, my mom wears glasses, I wear glasses. It's just my genetics that I just have to wear glasses. I can see perfectly fine, like up close. I can see fine up close, but far away, I can't see far away. I have to wear glasses when I drive. Myopia is where you can see far away perfectly, but you can't see your fingers. That's what myopia is. And a lot of people are developing myopia because they're so used to seeing things up close, right? Is that myopia? I think myopia is not seeing far away, right? Right? I'm losing my brain. I'm gonna look that up right now. I think I'm losing my brain, right? Right? Myopia or nearsightedness is common refraction error causing blurry vision due to an elongated eyeball. So yeah. Oh, I have myopia. Yeah. So myopia is when you can see objects really, like really close up. You can see objects, but you can't see objects far away. Yeah. That's what myopia is. So I have myopia. Yeah. But I don't think I have myopia because of me looking at my phones. I have myopia just because of just genetics. I was born with it. I've had a couple of friends. Oh, I was at college years ago. I can't believe I graduated college like 3 years ago. It's crazy. My mom used to work at the college that I went to, and one day I was just talking with her mom's friend, and we were talking about like COVID-19 and all that stuff, and then she just brought up that yeah, her son has to wear glasses now. I mean, she's like, my son has perfect vision. You know, he's 28 years old, and all of a sudden he just woke up one day and he just needed glasses. It's crazy. And then we started talking about phones and then technology and how the world is coming to a ruin. But anyway, that's just one example of someone that I kind of know where their life is perfectly fine, and then just because they have to look at a phone all day, they have to wear glasses. My mom's friend didn't specifically say that, oh, my son has to wear glasses because he stares at phones all day long. She was just saying that prior to that, he had perfect vision, and then all of a sudden, he has to wear glasses. And then this kind of ties back into eye health, taking care of your eyes. There's people who, this is also very minimal, of where you can put eye drops in your eye. I don't recommend putting eye drops in your eyes if you don't need it, because eye drops are dangerous, because with anything that you use, there's always going to be side effects. And so when it comes to Looksmax in your hair, that you need to put eye drops in your eye and blah blah blah, they only work if you have, there's some people out there that have really like red eyes and really veiny eyes. That's kind of it's optional, but if you don't really need it, and then don't need it, I know that a lot of models, there's this YouTuber called Brett Maverick. He preaches a lot about eye drops a lot. It's there if you need it, but they don't really work when it comes to Looksmaxing, because it doesn't really make your facial features any different. All it does is just make your eyes less red. Anyway. And then, oh great, my camera died, but we gotta get this done. And then also too, when it comes to eye health, that a lot of people stare at their phones like this too, for like this all freaking day. Stare at your phone, looking up. Okay, and then the next rule is stress reduction and / like mental health. Never mind, who cares? Looksmaxing, they do not care about mental health at all. I put that in as a joke. The last one is money. Money is everything. Yeah, money itself won't make you look any handsomer or prettier, but money will help you buy multivitamins. Money will help you buy clothes. Money will help you probably afford a gym membership. Money will help you buy things in order for you to look better. Moving on to the next is grooming and hygiene. Skincare, we talked about cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. You need all that. And then the next one is grooming. Obviously, we all need to have a trimmed beard if you have one. Get grooming done every so often. I would say, get a haircut if you have short hair, maybe every 2-3 weeks, every month. Get it trimmed up. The longer the hair you have, the less maintenance. It's just how it is. Because when you have short hair, it looks weird when it grows out of it, because it all grows on the side, and then on the back it looks a bit weird. And then the next one would be rosemary and minoxidil. if you are balding, this is just one way to maximize hair growth. Again, this kind of goes back into trends and insecurities. Just because someone tells you you're balding, or just because you have lack of hair, doesn't mean you need to have more hair. If you want to have more hair, and then do it, taking rosemary, minoxidil. Minoxidil is actually very dangerous. There's side effects to it. There's a form of a serum you put on your hair, and then you can also take it as a pill. You can also put minoxidil and rosemary on your eyebrows. A lot of Asian people, they have very thin eyebrows. My eyebrows my eyebrows are very thin. I don't have thick eyebrows. There's a lot of people of different cultures where some people have thicker eyebrows, and then others, people from the Middle East will have very thick hair, whereas other like East Asian people will have a lot of thin hairs, and even some white people as well. It depends on where you are from, but that is just kind of like an optional thing. But I only added like that in just because I've watched so many Looksmaxing videos, and you always hear about minoxidil and rosemary. And then again with eyebrow maxing is that there's people out there who dye their eyebrows a certain color for some reason. Because if you have, apparently in the Looksmaxing community, if you have blonde hair and blonde eyebrows, you look ugly. Or if in the community, if your hair is black and if your eyebrows are the same color as your hair, it's not good. They need to be a different shade of black or different shade of brown so it could pop out. I don't know. I don't freaking know. I mean, I would somehow agree that it kind of does look kind of good, especially for men. Like men who have blonde hair and then they dye their eyebrow like brown. I guess it does make their eye pop a little more, depending on what eye color you have. But it's the kind of little details that count. But again, it doesn't really matter. And then you can dye your hair a certain color. Like me, I think I looked my best when I was blonde. But I just don't like dyeing my hair blonde because it ruined my scalp. It really did. My scalp, it freaking burned for a couple of weeks. I didn't like it. Then you can also put highlights in your hair to make a little pop. Make your hair a little bit more vibrant. And then going back to the oral hygienes is, brush your teeth 3 times a day, mouthwash, floss, tongue scraper, do all that. And then eye whitening, yeah, we kind of talked about this again. Sleep, hydration, do the drops in your eyes if you want. You don't really have to. And then an eye curler. People like to curl their eyelashes like up. Again, it's the little details that count, that work. And then tanning. Tanning in a safe environment works, but does it work at the same time? Tanning, as we all know, can cause cancer. If it's artificial, you're more likely to develop more damaging skin cancer cells, whereas if it's out in the sun. Tanning, especially if you're white, you have a little bit tan skin, it does make your skin look a bit better, but you always have to be cautious about what parts of your body will be tanned. And when you do tan in a tan bed, you don't develop dark spots like me. I mean, I don't tan. I never did tan. I just never put sunscreen on when I went outside. But when you do tan inside of a bed, you don't develop dark spots like you do in the sun. But it's just something to keep in mind. Do you want to look better or do you want to develop cancer? And then moving on to skin, you can do, I think it's called like gua sha, where it's like this little tool shaped, it looks like a little like triangle, where you literally just do this, kind of just massage the face. I could have put this down in, Placebo, but when you really think of it, I never tried it, but it looks like it would work because, it does no harm. It literally does no harm, no pain. And I guess moving around the blood in your face, moving it around, it does help because it almost has the same philosophy as getting a massage. Like, you have to move around parts of your body, you know, every so often. So it's very minimal, but it wouldn't hurt to try it. I never tried it because I don't have the money to go out and buy the tool. But if I did, I'll probably try it out. I probably would. And then tattoos. Tattoos is, some people look really attractive with tattoos. So when it comes to looksmaxing, some people are like, if you want to look more masculine, get a tattoo on your neck. If you want to look more masculine, get a tattoo on your arm. I don't know. It's freaking all up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. And then next is structure and presentation. Posture maxing is basically doing posture exercises. This is definitely a good way to develop your looks, because I mean, for me, I used to have really bad posture. I mean, my posture would, I mean, I'll insert videos here later. I have like upper back pain because I've been like this all the time, but now I'm not so much. Everyone can benefit from posture, because if you walk with the slump in your back, people are not going to respect you. And then too, when it comes to your health, you don't want to look like that or this when you're 90 years old. You may not look like it now, but over time, all that stress on your body, it's going to add up. You don't want to look like that. And then just overall, it looks healthy. It looks better when you're standing tall, right? And then fashion maxing is basically, you know, dressing your body type. And then too, same thing with fashion maxing is that it's not the car that drives, right? It's not about the car, it's the driver, right? People can tell, even if you wear a shirt that you don't like, but you pretend that you like it and you smile and you feel confident, it brings off a certain type of aura. You know, you have to become confident with what you wear, you know. And then going down to style maxing is finding your aesthetic, finding what suits you. Find what you like and stick to it. And then learn how to take pictures. When you take pictures, everybody needs to learn how to take pictures. You know, in the age of technology, you need to have at least 3 go-to poses, you know. Just a couple of poses, you know. You want to have something like you can smile with, something that you're serious, right? You need to have a couple of poses so that when someone takes your picture, you look somewhat decent. And then looksmaxing, how to find perfect lighting, because sometimes with these looksmaxing videos, it'll show a before and after picture. And honestly, all they done was just have good lighting. Like you can see, like right now, I'm filming on my phone. I did this on purpose. You know, comparing my phone quality to my camera quality, I looked a lot better on my camera as compared to my phone. My face looks a bit fatter, right? But then if you film on a camera, you can see that I look a little bit tad bit better. I'm only filming on my phone because my camera died. I've been filming all freaking day, but whatever. I gotta get this done, people. Looksmaxing is not, I'm here to show you that it's not about the aesthetics, right? It's just about the truth. Look at my jawline. This is what I mean. I am very confident in my jawline. I really am. As a woman, I am. Then presentation skills is, how do you present yourself? You know, do you shake hands with people when you greet them and all that? Body language is, how are you when you're outside? Do you like, you know, look down a lot? Or body language and structure is very important. And then this is something that you don't really have to do. I actually don't recommend it, but it's whatever. Is a voice control. So, especially on the male side of looksmaxing, apparently there's this phenomenon of where there's this identity of a male voice of, if your voice is not deep enough, you're not attractive. I don't fucking know. I don't make the rules. So I can relate to this in some form. It's not about I'm not talking about the sound of my voice. I used to have a speech impediment. I'm sure you can hear it sometimes when I talk in these videos. I had problems pronouncing words that would begin with the letter R, L, S, C, and H, and I too had a little bit of ellipse. So I can definitely relate to having vocal control. Because everything in life, you use money, you present yourself, you wear clothes, you talk to people. Talking to people, knowing how to talk to people is very important. Not only knowing how to talk, but vocalizing your own voice. My last name is Morley, Morley. I could never say my last name because of the R. I would say Moe. I would. Everywhere I would go, the DMV, going to the doctor, or when a substitute teacher would ask my name, or is this something, I would always say Moe. And it sucked. It really did. The moment that I started practicing how to getting rid of my speech impediment, I didn't do this on purpose. It just happened on accident. Is that over time, when I started to notice that I was able to pronounce certain words a bit better, I started to notice I was talking a bit more to people. I was a bit more confident in the way that I speak. But going back to the tone of your voice, does it matter? I don't know. Does it? No. I don't like the sound of my voice either. I don't. But it's just something that I got used to. I film so many videos. I edit videos, and when I first started YouTube a couple years ago, editing my videos, I hated the sound of my voice. Now it's just, who cares? It's my voice. It's my voice. I believe and I don't believe that vocal exercises work. There's videos out there on vocal exercises that you can look up. But there's been studies shown that, yeah, it does work, but it's also kind of placebo. And then some people do certain type of surgeries, which is dangerous, but it's all up to you. And then moving on to placebo. Things that are not harmful for your health, but things that are also they don't really work, but kind of work. Face exercises are good, I guess, but do they make you have a more defined jawline? I don't know. Neck exercises, eye exercises, I don't know. Chewing gum for a better jawline, I don't know. But chewing gum does help you having a fresh breath. So cold water on face kind of helps. Ice on your face, ice and cold water kind of helps. Mouth taping when you sleep at night, to me, I think that's kind of crazy, but try it. Nose, putting tape on your nose for the pores. Some people do it for the pores. There's a tape that you can put on your nose for the pores, and then there's also tape where you just put on your nose just for aesthetics, I guess. I don't know. Does it work? I don't know. But then when you move down to mewing, mewing works. I would say, listen to what I'm going to say. I believe mewing works, especially when you take pictures, especially when you go out in public and you're in your resting face. Because to me, when you mew, I'm a mew right now. If I'm sitting down like this, I'm mewing right now. Right? And right now I'm not. You see this? I'll probably insert videos here later to make it look a bit better. Which sitting position looks the better? Not mewing or mewing? There's a little bit of a difference, just a tad bit of difference. And two, when you take pictures, when you take a selfie, it's the small things that matter. And people who say mewing is gonna make you have a stronger jawline. It doesn't make you have a stronger jawline. It makes you have a stronger jawline in the moment that you mew, but you're not gonna add inches to your jaw. I think mewing will work if you start mewing when you're literally 3 years old. It's like those babies that are born with deformed heads, and then they have to wear those helmets for like a year, and then it reshapes their head. because the skin's really soft. Whereas if someone, like for instance, if someone was born with a deformed head and they never wore that helmet and they grew up, their head's always going to be deformed, and when they do decide to wear that helmet, it's not going to work because their skin is a lot harder, the bones are a lot harder because it's grown. I think a lot of these Looksmaxing techniques would have worked if you started right when you came out of your mom. Like, honest. And then, but it's not accurate because a lot of these people who get into Looksmaxing, but a lot of these people who get into Looksmaxing and self-improvement, most of them are 16 or 18 or 25. I'm not 25 now. I'm turning 25 next month. Their body has already developed. But mewing does work, like, in the moment when you're just like you can see, but I'm not mewing right now. I mean, and then the thumb pulling, does that work? Probably not. I don't know. It seems stupid, but I don't know. I think thumb pulling would work if you're 5 and under. You know what I mean? But if you're already developed, I don't think it's not gonna make that much of a difference. Then also with your genetics, if you're just already born with a weak jawline, and then you start doing these thumb pulling exercises, you're probably gonna gain maybe a centimeter, couple centimeters of a jawline. It's so minimal that you might as well just don't even do it. And then there's people out there who bite on a towel. Does it work? I don't know. I never tried towel biting. I tried thumb pulling. I tried mewing. Yeah, I know. I tried. Yeah, I did. But out of all of these like weird mouth exercises to get a better jaw, the only thing that I found that works is chewing gum and mewing, to be honest with you. And then cheek biting. Oh yeah. Mogging. What's that mean? Where it's like cheek biting does not work in terms of getting a better jawline, but taking pictures. It works when you take pictures, but when you're not taking pictures, I mean, your skin's gonna go back to its natural form. So I mean, it's not gonna really work. Drinking coconut water helps. Coconut water is healthy, but it's not gonna really make that much of a difference. You can take vitamin K. There's been studies, I guess, shown that's like if you take vitamin K, your skin's gonna look a bit tanner. And then there's this thing called carrot maxing, where when you eat so many carrots, your skin's gonna be orange. Your skin's gonna have more of a tan look. I don't know. Does it work? I mean, I eat carrots. I haven't noticed me being orange. I don't know. I eat oranges, but I'm not orange. I don't know. But I guess it does make sense because, you are what you eat. But again, I mean, I ate carrots last night and I'm not orange. So I don't know. So this goes into placebo. Eating carrots are very healthy for you. So, but does it work in terms of Looksmaxing? I don't know. And then height maxing, does they work? I don't know. Posture exercises, height maxing works. I guess, if it works before puberty, if you're only gonna gain what? Maybe 2 centimeters? Because again, this all goes back to genetics. If you're genetically born and then what's supposed to be like 5'1", and then if you do these exercises, maybe you'll be 5'2". I mean, what's the fucking difference? Height maxing is like, if you feel no pain, and then why not try it? It's just one of those things. Hunter eyes training, where you just do this. Or you squint and do this. It doesn't hurt, but that's literally what Hunter is. There's more Hunter eyes training that I'll talk about later, like bone smashing, but I'll talk about that later in the next section. But literally, you just kind of squint your eyes and just like, you want to really express your face and then quickly do this. You're basically doing push-ups for your face. Like, what is this? Me, I don't have Hunter eyes. I have prey eyes. My eyes are circly. I don't have Hunter eyes at all. But when I do this, I kind of do, but my natural state, I don't really have Hunter eyes. One eye is like bigger than the other eye, I think. I think it is. Look. I'm mewing and I'm cheek biting. It's so minimal that it doesn't make that much of a difference. Messite jumpings are basically where you just literally just jump. Literally. You just jump. This is placebo because it's not super dangerous for you, but genetically speaking, if you practiced, jumping into your routine where you jump 30 minutes or an hour a day, it's a good way to burn calories, it's a good way to lose weight. But in terms of becoming taller, when you're jumping at the age of 20, or like I am, 24, I don't think that you're gonna gain that much height. That's just my opinion based on the videos and the articles that I have read. And it would make sense. Jumping doesn't increase height. People jump, when it comes to Looksmaxing, to gain height. Messite jumpings are good to stay in shape, but in terms of making yourself taller, it's probably not. Face debloat rituals are basically habits where you can debloat your face, like mewing. We talked about that before. Like here, I'm not mewing right now. Now I'm mewing. This part, difference between not mewing and mewing. It's so minimal, especially when you're fat. When your face is a little bit chubby, mewing doesn't really help, but when you're taking pictures, it does, because, if you take a selfie and you're like this, like you can see here, right? I like cheek biting too. Another debloat ritual is putting cold water on your face or put ice on your face. Another way is to eat healthy, drink more water, and sleep, lose weight. A cold exposure, we just talked about that, ice to the face. Perfect symmetry, that's where people get so obsessed with the symmetry of their face that they get Botox. Like me, I don't have perfect symmetry at all, because one eye's kind of bigger than the other, I think. That's what I think. In the Looksmaxing community, symmetry is freaking everything. But it's all placebo. You don't have to look hot to have perfect symmetry. You just don't. Voice deepening exercises are kind of placebo, where you kind of like talk like this, or you blow bubbles into water. There's other exercises like that. Voice deepening exercises aren't dangerous for you in terms of your vocal cords. It could be dangerous if you're doing it, 3 hours a day. It works, I guess. Me, I tried it. I tried voice deepening exercises before. I didn't really notice any difference. Penis pump. There are men out there who use a penis pump to make their penis bigger. This is a temporary effect because it does actually work. It actually adds inches to your penis. It actually does work. Me, I have no opinion because I don't have one. I don't have a dick. But just knowing from what I have saw, it does work in the moment, but after you haven't used it in like a day or two, it goes back to its normal size. It's like when you exercise and you get a pump. Yeah, your body's going to look a lot better. Yeah, your biceps are going to look so much bigger. Then after you work out, it's going to go back to its normal shape. Gua Sha for bone shaping. It's good for moving the blood around. It's kind of placebo, like we talked about, I think like 30 minutes ago. Skin manipulation rituals are basically eyelid pulling. That's kind of crazy where you like pull your eyelid or something. It's dangerous. Skin where you kind of just pull your face. You put tape. Some people put tape on their face. They put tape on their eyes. Oh my god, look, I look Chinese now. Yo, I look Chinese now. Like, literally, people are out there manipulating the structure of their face by using tape. Literally, I'm not even joking with you. It's so stupid. And then there's people who get Botox so that they could have a better jawline or cheekbones, or fix their wrinkles at the top of their head. It's kind of placebo. Botox, plastic surgery is a last resort. And you can see here, too, one of my weaknesses we talked about before. Do you see that? It looks really bad right now in the lighting. Oh god. When I film videos, I usually film a little bit more brighter, but this is like how it usually looks. Look at that. That's one of my weaknesses right there. And then again, face pulling is where you literally just freaking just pull your face, and you hold it for about 30 seconds, and you do 3 sets of 12. And then apparently if you do that for 30 days, your face is going to be in a fixed position, which I don't think is true. I mean, it sounds like it makes sense, but if you like pull your skin back for 30 seconds, 3 sets of 12, it's going to be like that permanently. It's sort of like that penis pump. It may work, but it's always going to go back to its default position. That's what she said. And then massaging your face is kind of placebo. It causes no harm, so might as well do it. Moves the blood around. Does it help you get a better jawline? I don't fucking know. Okay, moving on to dangerous habits. Things that do not work. Bone smashing, people. Literally. Bone smashing. Remember that, what's his name? Clav. That Clav video that I edited into this video about, I think we watched it like an hour ago. Guys, even that hurts. Does it work? No. Fucking dangerous. You can give yourself a concussion. Inserting chemicals / like Botox or plastic surgery, doing it yourself. That's freaking dangerous because you can go blind. There's people out there who stare at the sun. Yeah. Starving yourself to lose weight, taking testosterone, taking steroids. Eliminating carbohydrates and sodium. We all need carbohydrates to live, and we all need a bit of electrolytes to live. People don't eat sodium when it comes to Looksmaxing because it bloats their face. Same thing with carbohydrates. For me, I have low blood sugar, and so just thinking about not eating any carbs just so I could lose 1 pound, it seems crazy to me. And then people who tan an excessive amount, that's dangerous because it could burn your skin. And then we talk about like literally pulling your eyelids. That's a bit crazy. So you can get hunter eyes. I don't have hunter eyes. I don't at all. When I do this, I do. But my natural state, I don't have hunter eyes. Even like this is really uncomfortable. Even there's people out there who do hunter eyes 24 hours a day. They just walk around like this the whole day. Do I look hot yet, guys? Do I? I just look like I have something inside my eyes. Do I, guys? Do I look hot yet? Am I mogging? What's next? I can't even see. I need my glasses on. Whoa, that's bright. Wow. Pain-based rituals are basically insinuating pain on your face to get a better looking face. For some reason, when I wear glasses, I look a lot better. Like, it forms out my face. Forms out? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know, it like shapes my face a bit better. I don't know. Whereas you literally just make your face be in pain so that it swells up and you get a better jawline. I don't know. Biohacking obsession is basically the same thing. That's just a word that I just got watching YouTube videos. People talk about like biohacking. It's the same thing as doing plastic surgery. Genitalia. People insert Botox in their penis. Yeah. And all of this is dangerous because you can create an obsessive plastic surgery mindset where you're always thinking of, how can I one-up myself? It creates an obsession of getting Botox, getting plastic surgery, to the point where you start off looking okay, you get one Botox maybe in your nose, and then it's a roller coaster, and then you end up looking like this. And then you develop body dysmorphia, where to the point where you look hot. You literally look hot to other people, but in your opinion, you don't look hot. That's what body dysmorphia is. You actually look good, but when you look in the mirror, your opinion about yourself, you don't look hot at all. That Looksmaxing can create mental illness in people. Always looking for ways to self-improve. And sometimes when you self-improve too much, you lose a self of your authenticity, and in the process, you end up looking like shit. The cool rule of Looksmaxing is, if it improves health, structure, grooming, confidence, or stability, it works. If it causes pain, obsession, delusion, or harm, it doesn't work. This system is designed to improve your life and not trap you into an endless obsession of Looksmaxing. So this is your homework for Unit 3. Unit 3. This is your homework. Core concepts. Know what Looksmaxing is. Know that you don't need to copy what others are doing in order to look your best. Know that Looksmaxing doesn't care about your mental health, nor does it care about your physical health. It only cares about becoming egotistical. Know that Looksmaxing isn't about optimizing your discipline. That's what What the hell, dude? My hair. Self-improvement is about, optimizing motivation, discipline, becoming the best version of you spiritually, mentally, and physically. Whereas Looksmaxing is more focused on not so much the physical health side, but more of physical appearance. Physical appearance and physical health are two different things. Physical health is, how healthy are you, how healthy is your body. Whereas physical appearance is basically, you look the best. It doesn't care that you're destroying your body to take Botox. It doesn't care that you're destroying your body to take steroids. It doesn't care. It only cares about mogging people and looking the best. Physically looking the best. So know the difference. Know the difference between Looksmaxing and self-improvement. There are two different things, but Looksmaxing and self-improvement are often joined together. It's almost the same connection between like milk and cereal. You can't have one without the other. Steps, but you can take some knowledge from Looksmaxing and then do it to self-improvement. Because some of the self-improvement habits align with Looksmaxing, like, skincare, right? Everybody needs skincare, right? So these are everything that we talked about. These are just like quick bullet points. If you do all these steps, you are going to be mogging people. I'm just going to go like a quick bullet point. So if you do all these steps, you're pretty much good to go on Looksmaxing. Know your face shape. Understand that face shape can change due to growth, puberty, and maturity. Weight is also a factor. Weight gain or weight loss can affect the facial structure of your face. The dangers of Looksmaxing on your face is there's people out there that promote, bone smashing. Bone smashing is not a thing. I mean, it is a thing, but it's not a thing to help with having a more defined jawline. Botox, fillers, these are dangerous. the best way to approach Looksmaxing is to do it the most natural way possible. Yeah. You need to understand the dangers of Looksmaxing, so step 1 is just to know your face shape. This is important so that you know which haircut to get, so write this down on a paper. I'm waiting. Write this down. Know your face shape. And then, in order to know your face shape, you need to know your face shape so that you know which haircuts to get. Other factors will influence haircuts like how big your eyes are, how big your nose, your lips, your ears. But for now, just focus on the face shape. About 80% of what your face shape is, that is what haircut you should probably get. I mean, you don't have to, but it's just a good rule to start with. And then later on, when you get really good at Looksmax and you get all these steps down, and then that's when you can focus on, oh, my eyes are this many inches long. My nose is this many inches long. The holes in my nose are too big. That means I can't have bangs. You know, that's when you can focus on the little stuff. But right now, just know your face shape. Step 2 is to know your hair type. You need to know your hair type in order to buy the right products and to know how to style your hair. Step 3 is to know your skin type. You know, is it oily, natural? You know, do you have acne? Is there something you need to fix? Do you have circles? Just what kind of skin type that you have. The next step is to know, your body type. Are you fat, skinny? What's the shape of your body? Do you collect most of your weight in the lower part of your body or upper part of the body? And you need to know your skin color, because there's some skin colors that won't look good on you. It's like white people who wear tan jeans. If you're white and you wear brown jeans, they're not gonna look good. You know what I mean? You need some contrast. But just because you like the color pink doesn't mean you can't wear the color pink or the color brown and so on. But knowing what color works for you and what types of style, shirts, and material works on you, you will look the best. Why do I... That's weird. You need to wear what you want, but just keep this in mind for special occasions. Find your aesthetic and stick to it. Think about your hobbies and your lifestyle. Your style and lifestyle should match your aesthetic. You know, like for me, I make YouTube videos. I'm a bit more laid back. I like to listen to hip hop. That's why I got my gold chain on your body. Oh, it's cringy, I'm sorry. It wouldn't really make sense for me if I wore a suit and tie, because I don't want to wear a suit and tie, and then too, it just doesn't really match my personality. It's like me dressing like I'm a nun. I'm not a nun. You get what I'm saying? My lifestyle fits the clothes that I wear. I mean, it doesn't really have to be like that all the time, but you should find a style that fits your personality. Look at it this way. If you were in a video game, or if you were a video game character, what would you look like? How would you customize your character from top to bottom? And most likely that is your ideal person to thrive for. You should style yourself based on what actually looks good on you, and also what you like. Don't wear clothes based on trends or just because my friend has this shirt, I have to wear it. You should wear clothes because you want to wear it. Next is to find your weaknesses. Write this down on a piece of paper, just go head to toe. Like my hair seems fine right now. I'm not balding, hair seems fine. I have a little scratch there. And then you go down and down. Do I need to groom my eyebrows today? No, they look pretty fine. I got bags, that's a weakness, you know. Here, this area, that's a weakness. Dark spots, that's a weakness, right? You kind of just go down your body and just go, am I fat? Yeah. Can I lose 10 pounds? Yeah. What are your goals? Write down your weaknesses on a list and like literally tape them to your wall. these are my weaknesses. This is something that I need to improve on. You can't improve on what you don't know. You cannot improve on what you refuse to know. You cannot improve when you don't know what road to go on. God damn it. You need to know what road to follow. If you don't know what road to follow, how are you gonna fucking self-improve? You know, if you can't see, how do you know where to go if you can't fucking see? You need to know your weaknesses. And then also another step is to use realistic references. So, what I mean by this is pick a celebrity you would like to look like. For example, as a masculine lesbian, if I had all the money in the world, if I had one wish, I would look like the epitome of Channing Tatum himself. But I can't because for one, I'm not 6'1", I'm not white, I don't have muscles, I'm not handsome. So, but I do look like Han from Fast and the Furious. I'm stuttering so hard. The resemblance between me and Han, it's completely uncanny, especially when I had long hair and I had that pink shirt. He has a pink shirt. I look uncanny. I mean, I think he even has the same face shape as me. You know, the big cheeks, kind of the same jaw. I mean, his jawline's a bit more prominent than I am, just because he is a male. They usually have stronger jawlines. Like his jawline is like up to here, whereas mine is kind of like, you know, down here. But we kind of have the same structure a bit. He's Korean. I'm Korean. Well, I'm half Korean. And that's something, like that's someone that I could look like. You know, you want to find someone who is slightly harder than you when it comes to celebrities, and maybe just go for that, right? But you don't want to go out too much of your comfort zone. Like, I want to look like Channing Tatum. When you're a different race, you're a different height, like, and even to a different gender. But even though I'm a woman and Han from Fast and Furious, he's a male, I kind of look like him. I do. So a better approach too is just to choose someone that you genuinely admire and you also resemble. Like, I love watching Fast and the Furious. And you can start improving from there. Like, oh, Han, he looks really good with long hair. Maybe I should do long hair. We have the same face shape. Me, I'm never going back to long hair. I am done. You know, as a lesbian, I am done. I am done with long hair. But, you know, is this something to keep in mind? Like, oh, he looks really good in pink. Maybe I should wear pink. I look good in pink, too. It's just something that you can kind of copy from. And then these are... Oh! I dropped my... These are Looksmaxing tips that actually work. So grooming and skin is... Just have the basics down. Get a cleanser, serum, moisturizer, eye cream, sunscreen, and then grooming tools. Get a razor, tweezers, derma blade, comb, dryer, loofah, deodorant, and get some kind of fragrance. I use like this cologne from 1980, Decor Noir. Smells like heaven to me. And then when it comes to hair, get shampoo, conditioner, and then get haircuts every so often, based on your goals. You know, you don't have to get haircuts every day, but based on your goals, you know, get haircuts every so often. And then when it comes to teeth, toothpaste, electric toothbrush is the best toothbrush. Floss, mouthwash, tongue scraper for that dirty ass tongue you've been eating ass out of, and then gum. Natural gum to enhance your breath, and it prevents cavities throughout the day. Oh, then also brush your teeth 3 times a day before breakfast, before eating when you first wake up. And then somewhere in the afternoon, like mid-morning, after breakfast maybe, before you leave for work, somewhere in like mid-morning, afternoon. And then obviously when you go to bed at night. And then floss, you know, once a day. I floss at night, so just floss once a day and it'll be good. Oh, and then change your toothbrush too. Change the brush like every month or two, just depending on how terrible it is. You want to avoid harmful ingredients in body care products. You know, you can look up I'll even insert links here in this document. But just look up ingredients to avoid in body care products and avoid them. And then every week create a grooming schedule of like, okay, every week I am going to shave my body. You know, like once, twice a week. You know, every Sunday. Like for example, like for me, I do every Sunday. Sometimes I do every Saturday or sometimes every Friday. But on the weekend I go once a week. I'm gonna spend 30 extra minutes in the bathroom. I'm gonna trim my nails, cut my toenails, shave my face, shave my little butthole, and then I'm good for the week. Create a schedule and stick to it. The next step is health and lifestyle. Get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Drink water. And the thing with water is, like for example, I'm 135 pounds. Divide that by 1.5. Is there a divide sign on this thing? I don't think there is. Divide, I'm typing on my computer right now. Then divide 1.5 and then you get 90 ounces of water. And that's roughly how much water you would want to drink by your weight, divide by 1.5. But I drink about 9 to 10 because that's where I feel the best at. But that's just like a rough guideline of how much water you should drink based on your body weight. 90 ounces is about 11 cups, but I drink about 9 to 10, so. Get 10,000 steps a day. Hell, you can even get 7,000. I get 7,000 steps a day because just some of my health conditions, and I find it really difficult for me to walk for long periods of time. So I just get 7,000 steps. But 10,000 is really, really best. You want to work out each muscle group at least once. You know, you want to work out your bicep, tricep, shoulders, traps, back, upper back, lats, quads, hamstrings, calves, buttocks, your butthole, nostrils, eyeballs, at least once a week. Do posture exercises at least once a week to practice good posture. Reduce screen time. Don't be on your phone so damn much, especially when you watch your phone like this. Like, oh yeah, let me go check my phone. Like, no, when you check your phone, it looks a bit ridiculous, but you do check your phone and you want to look up. But just overall, just don't use your phone as much. Eat natural food. Eat, if you can find it in nature, eat it. And then check your height and weight ratio. Like for example, I'm 5'1", I'm 135 pounds. According to the internet, I am overweight because I'm supposed to be around the 115 to 130 mark, and I'm about 5 to 10 pounds overweight. So just go on the internet and just roughly just see, based on your height-weight ratio, if you are overweight. It works half the time, you know, if you're really like full of muscle or something. But is this a rough guideline to stick to? And then take your multivitamin. We all need a multivitamin. You know, take your iron, magnesium, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin K, and all that stuff, calcium, and all that. And two, I just want to say this, that with iron pills, I didn't mention this before, because I filmed that part about 2 weeks ago. I have reactive hypoglycemia and empty cellular syndrome. So I've been feeling just very weak, just because I have my conditions. And so I just thought, with me being on my self-improvement journey, I just thought, yeah, I have these conditions, I feel weak all the time, feel tired. What are ways that I could make myself not tired? And so I looked on the internet and it says that people who are tired, they have a deficiency in iron and B12 vitamins. So I thought, I get B12 vitamins, I drink my juice, I eat my vegetables, maybe it's iron. And it's not placebo. I don't think it is. And so I've been taking iron pills for the past literally week now. It's been about 5 days. And I feel stronger than ever. I do. Iron is very important. But anyway, I just wanted to add that. And then face and appearance habits are practiced. You know, just practice hunter eyes. Don't pull your eyelids to get hunter eyes or bone smash, but I think doing this helps. I mean, it causes no pain, so might as well just try it. You know, just do exercises to get hunter eyes, but again, I think it's a waste of time. I don't, because it's just genetic. You know, but again, there's always, you know, get the sun in my eyes. But there's always, you know, getting Botox and people literally pull their eyelids or some, tape their eyes like this to get hunter eyes. But people do say that if you just do this the whole fucking day, that eventually your eyes are going to be trained to be locked in that position, that it's just gonna stay there. Which, I mean, it makes sense when you think of it, because, like, for me, and for other people that have has bad back posture, through many years of just doing this to your phone, over time you're gonna have a hunchback, because your body is just so used to being in that position, and so your body just naturally just says, hey, I'm gonna help you out, and your body is just gonna, you know, be hunched over just because I'm gonna help you out. And so, yeah, I guess it does make sense. If you just keep doing this, your eyes are gonna be naturally fixed in that position. But this hurts. Not that it hurts, but it limits my vision, because I have to squint. Just imagine going to a job interview and you're like, oh, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Or why do you want this job? And then somewhere in the interview they go, excuse me, are you okay? Is there something in your eye? Then you just go, oh, I'm doing hunter eyes. I have to mog. I have to do this 24 hours a day. And then you don't get the job, obviously, because why the fuck would you? Right? Like, this is how my eyes naturally look in hunter eyes. But even then, you have to be careful getting hunter eyes, because I have wrinkles here. And so I really have to be really careful on just to do this and not really squint like that. Some people are different. They have wrinkles, you know, in different parts of their face, but me, I don't really have any wrinkles except, yeah, here. But here, I got wrinkles here. Putting ice on your face helps, I guess. I don't fucking know. Mewing works. It's a temporary solution. People say, oh, if you mew, you're gonna get 5 inches added to your jawline. I don't believe that's true, especially if you're 20 years old. You know, but taking pictures, it helps. Chew gum. I don't have gum in my mouth right now, but just imagine if you chew gum. You can see these muscles working. In terms of adding inches to your jawline, I don't believe that's true, but maybe a centimeter, I think. Face exercises, as I inputted, I think like 20 minutes ago, I inputted like images here, videos of me doing face exercises. They work. I have to be careful. My mouth is very dry today. Like this area. There we go. I look ridiculous, but after you do these, especially this one, for 3 sets, 12, this right here will be sore as hell. I promise you. There you go. I swear, it does work. And then you push your neck in. I do like neck exercises. 1, 2. You have to do them laying down or standing up. Sitting down doesn't really do anything. Yeah. It looks stupid, but if it hurts, I mean, you have to know the difference between bone pain and muscle pain. It hurts your muscle right here. Like, you could feel it. And then I can feel it here too. But it hurts right here. It hurts. I could feel it. You can dye your eyebrows. They kind of help. There's this. Oh my God. God bless his soul. He's not dead. There's this child actor. His name is Trevor Larkham. He used to be overweight. Now he's not. He's a mogger. I don't know what happened. He lost weight and suddenly he's Brad Pitt. I've never been attracted to gingers, but God almighty. Handsome man. And there's pictures of him before dyeing his eyebrows and then after. It looks, you wouldn't think that dyeing your eyebrows will make a difference, but it makes a difference, especially if you have like maybe a different type of color hair. If you have especially lighter hair. I don't know about black hair. Maybe I could dye my, because black on black. But if you have like blonde hair and then dyeing your eyebrows black, they look really good. So it's just something to keep in mind that it can enhance your face, because, I mean, if it can turn this guy looking ugly, yeah, he lost weight, blah, blah, blah. But even after he lost the weight, his face looked fine. But all of a sudden, he dyes his eyebrows a little bit like a black-brown tint. What the hell? He's a supermodel. So it's just something to keep in mind. Then style and wardrobe, you want to have 3, go-to outfits, so 9 in total. You want to have 3 go-to outfits, like when you stay home. And then you want to have 3 go-to outfits when you go out to the club or go out with your friends, go grocery shopping. And then you want to have 3 go-to outfits for when you go to work. I just say that just because having 3 outfits for 3 separate occasions, 9 in total, it seems like a good amount to have. It practice minimalism, like we talked about in, Unit 2, I think. We talked about minimalism. It saves you time, because if you have 3 go-to outfits, then also, you can also mix and match. Like, if you have 3 outfits, or you have 9 outfits, maybe you can pair a shirt from the casual outfit to a shirt to the business and change up the pants. You can mix and match. And 2, you want to also dress for your body type. It's just kind of like optional. For example, I'll just do a modern day example of Billie Eilish. I know it's Billie Eilish, but the meme, I just like to say eyelash. So the thing with Billie Eilish is obviously she has big boobs, right? Big boobs. To society standards, she's supposed to wear dresses, especially as a musician. She's supposed to be makeup, she's supposed to be, Megan Fox, Sabrina Carpenter, whatever. I don't fucking care about her music anyway. But Billie Eilish stands out because she wears what she wants, and she looks good. You wouldn't think she would look good in baggy clothes because she's a woman, blah, blah, blah. It looks good on her because it's about the confidence, and it's just, sometimes when you put clothes on, you'll just know that it's right. It's like when you get a dog and when you adopt a dog, you just know when a dog is connected with you and not, right? And you just kind of have to play around with your aesthetic. You may already know your aesthetic, but you just don't know how to, really apply that or how to style your clothes. But the first step is to actually just find your style. You don't have to dress your body type or body color. If you like to wear orange, but your body doesn't really look good in orange, like for me, I don't look good in orange just because of my skin color. I have a bit of a white, orange, yellow look. That's why you don't see a lot of Asians wearing orange, because it doesn't really look good on their skin. But a lot of people with darker skin look good in bright colors. That's why a lot of white people who wear brown, anything brown, it looks like that they're naked, because if you have the same skin color and you wear a shirt that has the same skin color as you, you're gonna look naked. You're gonna look weird. Me, I look good in blue, red, pink, black, white, any other color except like orange and purple. Purple, yeah. So all in all, just wear what you want, but this is something to keep in mind when it comes to fashion, that for special occasions, it's just something to keep in mind. But if you're white and you like to wear tan jeans, and then fucking do it, right? And then down here, let me see if I can screen record, because last time I didn't let me screen record, because I'm out of data. I don't know, let me screen record or not? I'll try. Is this screen recording? And then down here, you just click on these PDFs, and these are the PDFs that, what the hell just happened? These are the PDF, is it gonna, yeah. You can look through this if you want. These are just chemicals to avoid in food products. And then down here too as well, these are but ingredients that you should avoid in food and in body care products like shampoo, toothpaste, and all that. Why did you do that? Yes. So you just click these links and you can go through them if you want. There's 2 more down here. Ooh, shit! I don't think I did the links in the unit 2. Oh, God. This is what you get when you're working by yourself, man. I don't think I included the class playlist in the other document. I don't think I did. Yikes. And then you click here to the class playlist. It will lead you to the Unit 3 class playlist of self-care, Looksmaxing. These are all the videos that I recommend you watch. I kind of just saved you the headache of watching these self-improvement Looksmaxing videos that I put it all in one. These are the best in my opinion. And there's a little bit of everyone in here. You got, if you're a male, you can watch some male. If there's some female in here. And then if you're LGBTQ, I have some LGBTQ people in here as well. So there's a little bit of everyone in this playlist. That sounds a bit sexual. I didn't mean it to go that way. That's a bit sexual. And to one thing I want to add is subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am at 157 subscribers. So please subscribe to my channel. My goal is to get 1,000 by 2027. So, well, technically 2026 because I want to get 1,000 by January 1, 2027. It has always been my goal. Because after I get 1,000, that's just... I just need 1,000, alright? I'm so close. I'm so close. These are my other YouTube channels. My music channel that I post music content on. And then this is my 3rd channel. It's just a random channel. I haven't posted in 1 month. But it's just a random channel. So, this is a new series I'm actually doing. I'm reading the Bible, the entire Bible. As a gay person, I'm going to read the Bible once a week. Read a couple of chapters a week. It's probably going to take me 10 years to complete it. But it's just a new series that I'm doing. If you want to know more about it, just, watch it or don't watch it. I'm not doing it for religious reasons. I'm just doing it just to read the Bible. And I think there's something special about reading the Bible as a gay person with an open mind. I do have a background in the Bible just because my parents are Christians. Me personally, I have never read the entire Bible. So I think it is a good challenge. And I want to teach people that you should never be afraid to jump out of your comfort zone. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm gay, I don't have to read the Bible, or I'm Muslim, I can't read the Bible. Like, for example, my dad, he's not Muslim. He read the Quran, and he's not a Jew, and he read the Jewish Bible. My dad, he likes to read history. He's just a history guy. He read the Bible, the entire Bible. He read the Quran. He read the Jewish Bible. And I'm pretty sure he's on his next quest on reading other Bibles as well. So I'm kind of taking a play out of his own book. I'm going into this as an open mind and showing people that you don't have to be a Christian to read the Holy Bible. You don't have to be a specific type of person to read the Bible. And even just genuinely speaking, you don't have to be a certain type of person to enjoy a certain type of hobby. You just don't. It'll probably take me 10 years to do it at the pace that I'm going at, but that's just something that I wanted to share with you all because it is self-improvement and it's always about becoming better. And going into it as an open mind. I'm not doing it to find God because I started the challenge a week ago. I'm sort of just doing it because I think it's cool, like, oh, have you read the Bible? Yeah, I read the whole entire Bible, and from my background, I never completed reading the Bible. So I think it'll be a really, really good opportunity for me to finish the Bible. And my mom has always been saying I should read the whole Bible. So I'm finally gonna do it, Mom. Finally gonna do it. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna read the whole Bible. Probably gonna take me 10 years, but I'll do it. Okay, so this concludes the entire unit of Looksmaxing. I believe this video is gonna be probably 3 hours long. Yeah, this is the entire unit of Looksmaxing. Everything you need to know is in here, and I know I didn't really do a good job. Aesthetically speaking, it's not a very cinematic video. I just compiled all the quotes and videos and not news articles, but all the articles that I've read into this entire video. So I'm not a Looksmaxer. I'm more into self-improvement. I know. Why should you take advice from me when I literally have whatever this is around my mouth? And yeah, I'm a lesbian. I'm not the demographic of people in Looksmaxing. I wish I had pictures and videos of me when I was in high school. I wish I had more. I did have more. I used to have an Instagram page when I was in high school, but I deleted it. And then too, during the COVID pandemic, I just didn't really take a lot of pictures of myself, but I weighed 150 pounds at my highest, and like I used to have a bigger, my face used to be a lot bigger. In 2020, I used to weigh 120. I used to weigh 150 pounds. Then now I'm back to about like 135. 130. Some mornings I wake up and I'm 137. Oh, I'm a big boy. But I usually go up and down between 134 and like 137. I go up and down. I weigh myself once a week every Monday morning, and I'm usually between those weights, 134 to 137. Yeah. But most of the time I'm like 135 or 136. Alright, is there anything else I need to say? Take this advice from me because I am you. I am doing self-improvement with you. Looksmaxing ain't really my cup of tea. I'm more into skincare. Do I have a cleanser? Do I have a lotion? Do I wash my face every day? Do I take a shower? Yep, I'm good to go. I don't really care that much on looks. I do just a tad bit, but in terms of facial symmetry, the ice on the face, that's not really my goal because I have other goals in life, and to me, I just don't want to waste my time on things that will not make me better in terms of my goals. Because my goals is to play guitar, piano, finish reading the Bible, read books, learn Korean, make awesome YouTube videos, make an income off of YouTube videos. And so I just don't really waste my time on Looksmaxing. Not that it is worth a waste of time. Just that I'm probably not the best person you should take Looksmaxing advice on. I just want to say that. Anyone in the comments will be like, why should I take advice from you when you look like a boiled fucking egg? I just want to say you should probably take some advice from me because I've done it. I'm doing it right now with you. This is an easy, natural guide on how to Looksmax. This isn't a how to do Botox, how to bone smash. It's not about that. This is about how to Looksmax based on saving money, don't want to spend the most money on, and how to Looksmax the natural way. These are everything that you need to know. Everything that you need to know about Looksmaxing is in this video, and I guarantee that with my life. I will guarantee that on both of my dogs' life, Candy and Scooby. Everything that you need to know about Looksmaxing is in here. We talked about all the habits that are good for you, all the habits that are kind of good for you but don't really work, and then we talked about the habits that are fucking horrible for you, like bone smashing. So I'll see you in the next unit. It'll probably be about 2 or 3 weeks from now. I am a bit behind. It'll probably take me about 2 or 3 weeks to finish Unit 4. Then we do Unit 4, Unit 5, and then Unit 6, and then we're fucking done, guys. We're done. Unit 4 is gonna be about an hour or two long. Unit 4 is gonna be just quick bullet points. You'll see when this comes out. Unit 5 is probably gonna be a bit longer, probably about the same length as this one, about 2 or 3 hours long. Unit 6 is going to be about an hour, quick bullet points. Alright. No matter how ugly you are, you can always mug people. I'm sorry. No matter how insane you may be, there is always someone out there more insane than you.